Hey guys, welcome to the close. 2 hours left in the trading session, 2 hours left in the entire trading week. And what a week it has been. We have a number of things to cover as we head towards the close on a Friday afternoon, including Robinhood. We'll jump into a number of reasons why this stock is trading where it is today, because it's a little bit of a confusing move back to the upside after that report. We'll talk about the earnings report and why it might be a little bit mispriced here. Let's talk also a little bit about Apple, because Apple was the big one aftermarket yesterday, beating right across the board. Huge report, in fact, for Apple once again. So a nice look trying to lead the market back to day highs even as we speak. Let's have a look at how things are shaping up here as we head into, as I said, the final 2 hours to go here. 1.25% for the S&P, 0.5% for the Dow, 2% for the NASDAQ right now leading. A lot of that going to be, of course, Apple. 0.5% here for crude oil. Bitcoin, 2.5%. Nice day for Ethereum as well, 4.8% back to the upside. Nice day for the S&P. One of those days we had, initial weakness with a little bit of buying come in. So a bit of a reversal from what we've seen over the past few days, few trading sessions anyways. I want to point out this, Visa, 8% to the upside. Huge day for Visa off of earnings. MasterCard here as well. Pacey C-Day among the leaders. In the software group, there's Western Digital not having a good day off earnings. Big miss for WDC, 8.25%. Apple, 5.7%. Juniper's here, 4.5% back to the upside. Moderna having a nice bounce back day, 5.3% to the upside. DXCM, 5.8%. ABT IDXX there in the healthcare equipment makers. But everything else here going to be a little bit choppy. Back and forth day for industrials, kind of a back and forth day for the consumer discretionary names as well. Some of the travel group under pressure today. Real estate stocks are positive, communication stocks positive as well. Even the energy group to the downside at this point this afternoon. Quick look at the NASDAQ here. It's all about this one. The tall, skinny one today is going to be Apple. As it shifts around here. There it is. 5.9%. Semiconductors under pressure, though. Micron, Intel helping to offset that. Software names are positive, as I said. Some of the consumer discretionary group in the NASDAQ positive outside of, Lucid, almost 7% back to the downside. We'll mention Netflix coming up here as well. As we do every day about this time, we'll jump into some of the stocks we were talking about in the pre-market and the morning. Go back over some of the trades that were taken in the morning off of the open, including one that Sean's going to discuss here to lead the way. He had a really good trade this morning. Listen up, because it's an interesting look at Hood, guys. Here comes Sean.
Hey, thanks, Brendan. Yeah, interesting trade, needless to say. And what it was all of these shorts, man. We came in today off of what I thought was a bad quarter for Robinhood. Let's read the numbers. Revenue down 35. I had to write them down. Revenue's down 35%. Users down 8%. Increased costs over the last quarter. And they expect a 15 to 20% more costs involved here. 49-cent loss versus 45. So that's not good either. And then to kick it off, they're already 86% off of their recent highs. So you can see here, let's start with the daily chart. This is why we're thinking, okay, Robinhood is done, right? We're going to the downside. Look at this. 86% off. Its all-time high is $86. You're down here to 10 bucks, okay? So we're like, hey, the quarter wasn't great. This has to be a short, right? Right? I mean, you're up right now 6%, but look at what we did here today. We started off pretty good in the pre-market. We had some nice shorts. We're like, okay, we'll trade off this pre-market level here of about 1050 or so. Great, so we short the 1040, goes to the downside first out there like 1025. We get some out around 10 bucks. That's this line right here. That's $10. So we get out right in front of 10 bucks. And now we're expecting it to start to tank down. But the one saving grace about all of this trade, to be honest with you, is the fact that we mentioned to you guys at 8:30 on the morning show. I did not want to take the 10 break. And it's really thankful that we didn't. The reason why, when a stock is getting killed this much, it's down all the way. We know that there is a 6% short float on Robinhood that may or may not have been increased yesterday on this earnings. So that was as of yesterday. So we came in unaware of what the float was, but even at 6%, we are aware that there is going to be some kind of a pop here, and that's exactly what happens off the open. You could see a nice pop in right into that sort of area that we were comfortable with, $11, shorting into 11. So as it comes up, we start taking a lot of shorts here. It gets to be 10 o'clock very, very soon. Most of these trades that are working on the short side are all between 9:30 and 10. So we're up here, short, out, short again and out. So far so good. Then we short again, great. All we're doing is shorting these pops, but the pops are coming out of nowhere on some big buys. So bang, again, short again, right there, works again. But then at about 11 o'clock, it just doesn't really start, it doesn't come back. So short, out, we're up on the stock, everything is fine. Then up here, it gets a little more spicy. So right around noon, the volume kind of starts picking up with a couple more big green candles. And the one thing that you're going to learn here is just you don't get any big red spikes until right there. All the big, huge pressure is on the buy side. It starts to just spike up. I think it's probably ARK in there buying some, but we'll see tomorrow if that is the case. We kept trying. Really, two trades that got blown out was this first one at 12.50, out at 12.60, comes down, we retest it again, and we get out at 12.80. We should have waited for 13. We missed that trade. Comes back up, comes down, then we short again in front of the 50 period, and you could see out. We still have a small piece of this, so we're gonna hope that we can retest back down here to 11.60. So our last short is 12.40. We have it on right now. We started taking it out. I still think we break 12 and go to the downside, but this just goes to show, you know, I have a lot of executions here. It's a crazy amount, but even when you're wrong, like, you know, we're right, and then we're wrong, I'm still sticking with the short because of those numbers I told you. I don't believe this should be up. So the fact that it is today is a little mind-boggling. The NASDAQ is up as well, probably helping this, but I just feel like this should fall down. I'm not expecting it to take out 13. If we test up here, I'll try one more time, but no shorts until we get to key levels. We learned our lesson in here. Let's see if we can hold Robinhood for the downside.
Lots of opportunities this morning, including Robinhood off of that report. We'll talk about Apple here coming up as well. What a move, though, back to the upside from all-time lows for Robinhood. That's a link to the watch list, guys, if you are looking for an absolutely free resource. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Make sure you grab that. Everything you need to know in the pre-market on there, a little bit on why. Then you join us at 8:30 for the entire first hour of the day. We take some time going through what to expect at the open and how we can approach trading it. Miss V is in the chat. Yeah, she's not gone yet. She's off next couple of weeks, but she's still here for the afternoon, so she'll be in the chat. I just saw Apple coming off here a little bit back to the bottom end of this range. 167.5, a little bit of support here on Apple. Yeah, Apple doing Apple things. Record sales in the holiday quarter for Apple. I mean, the numbers are just like mind-boggling if you dive into this report once again. But a little bit of a pullback here, guys, for Apple.
Yeah, well, actually, the market itself is pulling back a little bit here. And I'm going to apologize in advance if you see me like do this and grab the stomach a little bit. Those burgers we had, if you weren't watching the midday show, were absolute fire.
You had half of it.
I had half the burger, but I already had lunch, man. It's not...
I know.
I had a full lunch, and then the burger was so good.
I'm not going to lie, I had like 2 bites.
I had one bite.
I'm trying to bring it home.
I just didn't have enough discipline to not finish at least half of it, and the King burger was insane. But look, the market's coming off a little bit here. Apple just turned off the tops, and this is what's happening with the NASDAQ. We made a bit of rollover. So look, this was leading the market. It had that big top at 167 that got broken out, but it couldn't get past the next level. Monster quarter, monster run here, but 5%, absolutely nuts. I mean, I tried my best at Robinhood and got shellacked. And then the other one, my Robinhood chart should look like the Affirm chart. It doesn't. I shorted Affirm off the open, and then we stopped it we only shorted the key levels. We stopped it at 54, should have reversed, but then we waited for the actual top. This is what just happened on Affirm. Like, Affirm just dropped $2 in the VWAP. I just got trailed out of AMC. Lucid just fell. Oh my goodness, yeah, Lucid just plunged through back down to 26.5 from VWAP as well. So we just had a rather significant drop overall in the market, and it does coincide with Apple reaching some pretty big resistance up at the top. It's been carrying a lot of the weight here today, but even Apple can't hold on the shoulders for too long. The rollover profit taking is going to start coming in this kind of a market, and even Apple is not immune to that. But you can't, there's nothing negative to say about a 5% day after what we've seen happen to other names on earnings. This is just super impressive by Apple, and, just billions keep rolling in, and they will always roll. Well, probably always roll in.
Yeah, most likely always. Ding! Right here, I know you're talking about Apple here, Brendo, but I just want to talk about my AMD trade right now. We tried the short there on AMD, got stopped out, but look at this. We are still in this trade, so 20, 40, 60, 80. Still got 20% left on AMD as we are retesting some of these lows. We shorted it into 104. I actually told Brad, you might remember on your show, I said short AMD into 104. So right now, it's down to 101.80, a good trade so far. We took some out. I mean, it was bouncing off VWAP a bunch of times. When we were just doing the trade of the day there, it cracked lower. We were sitting at 102. We take that fill. So it finally breaks through VWAP, and now you go back down to the downside. Look at the pushback on the NASDAQ right now. Anyways, that's AMD, just a target spot here. Look, we were short, out. So a couple shorts there and short. You could see, guys, I know that we pride ourselves sometimes on going short. Neil likes to go short. We like to go both ways for sure. But today, the most important thing, yeah, that's funny, I know. The most important thing, though, is honestly, is that you have to have a plan of action when you come in, right? And when I saw the NASDAQ ripping up here on basically one name, and that was Apple, obviously we have Microsoft early for a $5 winner. I mean, Microsoft was a monstrous trade here today. We got long at 294.60, and then we got out at 299. So $5 straight on the upside on Microsoft. But again, we had the bias of short today. We waited for this thing to pull back into levels that we liked. These levels are on the sticky note. Follow me on Twitter at TraderTVSean. We talked about defending down here 294 and 293. So we took our time, we waited, and then we had a stop order trigger back and forth there, so we got out. But that's our out on this long. So one piece out there for $1, hold the rest for 4 more to top it off at 5. And now we say tank, little one, tank, as AMD continuing. We are now $2 in the money. This guy's making pizza, but yeah, those burgers, hit them up, man. Yummies on Young. It's yummies.ca. Find me on Twitter, and there's a video of me just releasing this. And Brad just took a bite, and he was like,
he knows, man.
Yeah, he's going crazy with that burger there. They also have halal food and stuff like that. You think?
Yeah, they got shawarma.
Look, we don't even need to be paid to advertise. Oh, sheesh.
The burger is lit, dude.
There it is. So you just saw that right there. Someone said, hey, if I send you guys sushi, bring it on. Just let us know. The thing is, we have a catered lunch. So that was the problem, right? I just need a salad for lunch. But you had the meatballs.
It was meatballs and rice. It was actually pretty heavy. It was heavy. I had extra meetballs because I get hungry.
We get distracted real quick here.
It does happen, and I should. So by the way, some positions are still on. Affirm. We're going to talk about Affirm obviously, but it just got to VWAP here, and I was about to type it in the chat. I'll just say it here. If it bounces, this cluster here is right 56 to 56.5, 57. If we bounce and retake 56.5, I'm going to get out of this one. I know the market's sliding back in, but I do have a Lucid short, which I feel like the relative weakness in Lucid is just a different ballgame. I shorted Lucid off the high. It did a failed break. We waited for 28.5. That was the top end of that. That was the bottom end of the range and the gap on the daily chart. Worked it to VWAP, and then it's just okay, I want to hold on to this to the low of the day. So Affirm, I am willing to get trailed out of this bad boy if it goes back up, maybe to the 60 or 75 mark. But Lucid, I actually want to cancel my bid and hold on to it forever. I was in AMC, by the way, and that tried. I really wanted this to make a run to that $16 level, and then it just failed, broke, and I should have had the trail out somewhere in this range at $14.75, but I wait till $14.60, so I end up only taking 50, 60 cents, but I'm going to give Lucid a little bit more room. Just got to see what happens overall. The NASDAQ holding 1%, pretty key. If it bounces off this, fantastic, but it's a Friday, so profit taking, like we said.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon there, saying buying in reverse of what we've seen over the past couple of days here in the market. Some sellers come back to life here a little bit. Important levels need to hold. I was trying to find a tweet. I saw a tweet during lunchtime. I didn't come up with it, but there was a whole chain. Kramer from CNBC was touting this, saying that everyone should buy it where it was coming off of earnings. So apparently Kramer was all over Hood this morning. And really impressive move. You heard Sean's take on that off the top there, guys. But, what do we expect here? We're back above some of these key levels. 11.15 was the low from that prior dip down day. So all-time lows got broken yesterday. They retake 11.15, and now here we are trying to hold 12.
Was Kramer was talking it long?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He did.
I don't know.
I didn't read
mean,
that.
yeah, that would not have affected my opinion anyways. I'm just surprised because off those numbers that I was saying, guys, like, you know, an 8% decline in monthly users. I mean, that's horrible. Like, they're trying to get more and more users as they go, right? So I don't, you know, I'm surprised by that. Income minus 49 versus minus 45. Like, when we did the trade of the day there, we were up almost 6%. Oh, yeah, thanks, Valeria. Yeah, see, I threw my sticky notes, so she please pass that back to me. Thank you, Ms. V. Anyways, just I'm just surprised by this. So we just keep on shorting. All the purples are shorts here. There's really nothing to show. I mean, I can go over a 20-minute chart or whatever, but I mean, all these levels just got violated. I think Neil was talking about 1150. I mean, there's the level right there off the 20-minute chart. You touch 1150 on the 24th. You know, it was the bottom before we fell out yesterday off earnings. And again today, if you wanted to wait for something, I guess that would have been it. Or you play the obvious level like on AMD of 100. This is 10. So, I mean, you just wait for some key levels. The long was easy to find. There's no doubt about it. It's just I didn't believe in the long. I mean, it's to look at Robinhood and say, hey, maybe we bounce off $10 when you've already seen it bounce off $10 is not rocket science. It's just when you believe one way, and we started it, you know, the show talking about, I came in here today only thinking short, except for on Apple. I wanted to pretty much go short, and I was just very surprised that Robinhood was an upside move today. So with that being said, I'll hand it over to you, Neil, but I'm still in the short right now, expecting this thing to at least take out 12. And then I have a bid right here. I mean, the only bid I have right now is at 1160. Right down here, we're going to see if it comes back in. That's that. And we'll wait. I either get 1160 or I get taken out at 13. It is what it is.
Robinhood was the pass rush, and I was the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line today. That's about it.
I was going to say something about 13 seconds, but we'll slow down on that.
You know what? Look,
I mean, the thing is, the Cincinnati Bengals won.
I know, but Joe Burrow got sacked 10 times. He might. And look, first of all, I'll tell you this right now.
I'm on the Bengals plus 7.
I told you guys my sleeper pick was actually the Bengals.
Yeah, you did.
And I think Joe Burrow's an unbelievable baller. He's an incredible athlete. He seems like a great dude, an unbelievable leader. But they're going to get him killed because they don't protect the guy. So anyways, what I mean by that is I was under siege all day long trying to short Robinhood, and it just wasn't successful. And I know exactly what the mistake was because I was saying it as it happened. Every single time it would give me a move. Like I'm taking it short at these levels. It would go in the money and I'd take profit on half of it for 25 in the 25-cent range, and I'd hold out for the other half and just lose on the other half. And you make one bad missed stop, but I'm constantly holding on to a portion of the position so that I'm reloading at the next level and taking an extra hit, or stopping out when I don't need to. If I was more aggressive, which is usually what I try to do, it's just like get out, hold like 10% at best, and just keep your stops tight. That's not what I was doing. So we take too many bigger hits along the way here that are not tight, that are not like on my charts. Like when you see those overlapping triangles, the ones that are side by side, like those are the ones that you got to look at. And I know exactly what I did wrong. I was way too overconfident with Robinhood shorts today. So hopefully, and again, I'm hoping Joe Burrow does well, although I think the Chiefs are going to win. Like I think it'd be great for Cincinnati. That's
could
be
one of those games again. Like I don't know about overtime.
I don't
think
so.
Could be back and forth.
He has a capability to do it. I just don't think they can keep him upright long enough for him to go toe to toe. And you see what Josh Allen can do. You put him under pressure, and he's better. He's running around. He's making passes. Be nimble. That's actually interesting. Like be nimble. You have to be able to say be nimble on your feet. Say in the boxing ring, you say it as a quarterback in the pocket. But even in trading as well, right? Like you never want to find yourself in a position where like you're just sitting there hoping and praying, and only one thing can happen for you to win. No, you want to be able to be a little bit flexible. So adjust on the fly, things like that. And I was not adjusting to the way that Robinhood was moving.
You are not a just in time. I wonder if he's going to come through today. We just talked to him about the Apple iPhone. I'd like to have Justin.
He had a burger too, so he's probably.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't?
Yeah. Valeria's not having hers, so
wow, you didn't get one?
Justin came out here to ask me. Hey, Valeria, what's up? Justin came out here to ask me if there was any, not if there was any extras. He was like, oh man, those burgers look great, and I asked him if he got one. But and again, thanks to Yummies, but he brought 10. And I think that's about right. I don't know if someone had 2 or not, but
nobody had 2.
How many do we have here? We have 1,
Impossible.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, there should be something left over. Tony, the tiger, had 1. Maybe Tony had 2 or 3 burgers. I don't know. We'll find out about that. But thank you again. Such great burgers there. AMD now $2.40 in the money and still going down, guys. I was just trying to find a target, honestly, for this trade. It's $2 in the money, or more than that, obviously, in the money now as we keep on going to the downside. $2.40 now. I don't know. I'm close right now, I think. We're right here into these areas. Excuse me. Wow, yeah, maybe we do have some indigestion.
I told you, man.
But you know why, though? It's not even because of that, because I had like 2 bites. It's because I'm already down to, I'm just crushing this water. I'm already at the 5 p.m. This is a gallon, so I've had like 2/3 of a gallon so far right there. Get your Trader TV water bottle at a store near you. Okay, here we go. We're even going down more now. I'm debating just getting this out. I was trying to find some levels here on AMD in the morning. We kind of started to get going right around here, $100.50. So I'm debating that. But again, if this market wants to turn Redsville today, which I mean, normally when you're up at 1%, you're like, hey, this market's cruising when we're fine. But right now it is coming back to the downside, and we are at some key levels again. I mean, we're right near 14,000. So if we get near there and take it out, then maybe we do see the low of the day, which turns this AMD trade into an absolute monster. So let's just keep going with these reviews. But AMD, I'm short. You're short Affirm, and I've got hood on. So we're thinking
and a hoodie
and a hoodie, yeah. What does they call that? Something with a hood. But anyways, I'll think about it. I have a rhyme, but I have to think about what it is. But back over to Brendan.
All I can smell is burgers, guys. All I can smell is burgers. I was just counting. There's six straight red candles in a row on a 5-minute chart for the overall market. So selling coming in pretty hard here. Tesla, worth a mention here because it's coming back into 820, which was that low from, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago? On Tesla, so down now 1.5%. This was that comment, Elon Musk basically saying he believes a human-like robot and self-driving cars, or technology for self-driving cars, are more important for them to develop and come out with this year than new models, including the Cybertruck and a lower-priced sedan.
If you watched the morning tape, you might have heard me say something at one point along the lines of with key levels. You want the first bounce. I actually said this in the afternoon show. You want the first bounce off a level when you're screaming into it and there's high volatility. You want that first rejection. The second one likely gets you into trouble because more people on it, more likely to break the level and be a messier trade. So sometimes it's more about doing what we say and not always what we do, because I didn't actually follow that rule here in the morning. And the 9:30 is hectic, and we're trading. I was in Robinhood, and things were going like that. What was that? That Indo was going crazy at that time as well. So when that came up to the 840 level on Tesla that I loved, it went right to 839 and plunged, and Tesla fell like $40 or $50. Now, when it got all the way back, I put on the same short, managed to get myself stopped out, got cute, tried to reverse. I'm trying to scalp it in either direction, make a mess of it. I didn't really lose that much, but because I did scalp some wins. But it's just, look how clean it is. When it does, what's that? My favorite setup, which is popping into a key level at 9:30 and then rolling over. And instead, I try to jump back into it, do not handle the trade very well, and it goes into an upward trend. And once that was broken, I was waiting for it to get at least close to the 885 level on the 15. So just coming back up here so you guys can see, it's about this consolidation, 885. It's been pretty good. It was support. It was at wick bottom there on the 26th. I never got there, obviously, but that's what I was trying to hold out for. Like, I didn't think Affirm would get to the next level up, which is at 60, and it did. So I was kind of thinking Tesla might do the same before potentially rolling over. And I mean, the comments from Musk about, it's more important to do a robot. Like, he's always about the next big thing, right? Like, it's just, I don't think that's not out of bounds for him. He's always focused on what's next and going bigger and better, and everything else is old hat. So I'm not reading too much into that. I think their earnings were fantastic. This was just a valuation thing, and we're right back to just breaking that 200 period. We keep going back and forth off this 815, 816. So it would snap down. It got the break, and then there was all kinds of momentum to the downside when it did happen. It was short sell restricted when we tried to get the 800 break, so that was a tricky trade to get. I don't know anybody. Maybe somebody got the fill. Neither one of us got the fill at 800. And let's see if 800 can actually be defended today. I think if it closes above the 200 period, which is about 816, like where we're sitting right this cluster here, that would be a great sign for Tesla. But man, the market does not seem like it wants to cooperate with this one today. Like that's a heavy sell-off that we're into. It's a big turnaround, right? Like if we were to turn red, I'd be incredibly disappointed because it just seemed like Apple had saved the day to end the week.
Yeah, I mean, Apple did save the day, but I mean, unfortunately, there are many other names, as we know, and as you guys should know as well, in indexes, right? And unfortunately, Microsoft had great earnings. And they were to the downside. I'm actually really surprised how well Apple is holding up. And on that note, we're $2.50 in the money. That's a great return for me on AMD. We're positive on the stock today. And I'm just debating here a 100 break, 101 break. We break back above 101. I'll give up the 30 cents and just get that out. We could just keep going downside. It's just I got to ring the register at some point here. So we're really happy with this move. You can see the NASDAQ still down 0.7 and keeps on going to the downside. There hasn't been many green candles here, as Brendan was mentioning, 6 or so straight downside. And then we got one little green and then it bumped up and it opened up the same level. And now we're coming back down in the downside. So yeah, it doesn't look like they want to buy this. So we're going to, I just said, are we going to test 14,000 while we're 80 points away? And we can retest that level pretty easily. So I'm just going to get out now because honestly, if that's going to be the level and we run away from it, then I want to make sure that I capture this $2.40. So that's what we're going to do, a break above 101, and we will get out of this. So I don't know. Who knows? There could be a rally coming into the close. Like I said, we're up on AMD. We'll make sure that we keep it that way. We're going to finish the week off green, which is fantastic. We're green today. We might have been red on Monday or Tuesday, but it's been a great week for us. And, you know, a couple of these names continue to work. Next week is a big earnings week as well. We've been buying some shares of a few different companies. CRM, I think you mentioned, was up today. We bought that yesterday. And I bought some Facebook yesterday. I don't think that's up today, but everything's working out here. And yeah, let's just move on with our next topic. What's on the board? Yeah, let's talk about this overall market because we're slowing down at least, so that's good. Trying to get back to the upside a little bit here. 0.4 for the ES right now, or 0.43. Here's the SPY. This is what I was talking about. This is a 3-minute chart, but you get the idea. We're right back to these highs from the pre-market on the SPY, guys. So we were, a lot of people talking, a lot of people with chatter about did Apple cause the bottom for the market at this point? Obviously, there's no way we can say for sure, but worth a mention here that we're back to these lows on a daily chart. Good place, anyways, to start thinking that.
So I mean. So if we're going to define, let's maybe put a definition on what we mean by causing a bottom. So I'll say, did we just put in a bottom that takes us to something like the 200 period on the Qs without retesting the low? I'd put that as a certain Russian subboat captain would say, I'll give it 1 chance in 3. So I think there's a chance that that's true, although I don't really believe it. Is there anything beyond that, like? If we end up closing up today, and let's say we get to like another 10 points on the Qs, like up to like 55 or 60 before rolling back over, not even getting to the 200 period, then I don't know what we even call that a temporary bottom. So we're like 1% away from it right now. What's that? The 2?
No, from its low. What it did on Tuesday.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, so like a temp bottom would mean holding the Tuesday low and then making a significant retracement to another level. So like I think there's a chance that that's the case. I would put it at less than a third because to be honest, I might have given you a different answer had we not just started rolling over. Like how we end today does matter to me. And I might have said it was about like 60% chance that maybe there'd be enough juice to get a push back into the 200. I think some names might get to a few levels where if you're worried about taking profit, maybe you could do that. I don't have you could talk about like maybe like if Affirm would break that 60 next week and get up to the mid 60s, and it might give you some profit up there for the next leg potentially down. But no, it doesn't feel like it's done. We still have some earnings to get to here, and until. You know what I'd like to see? We saw it with Apple, but it's the only name. And when big earnings reported, it wasn't like an opposite shakeout candle. Like the bid didn't just die and evaporate right away. Like that's what I want to see happen. I want to see one of the big boys that isn't Apple report. Like to see Microsoft blow everything out of the water and then just watch like the bid evaporate in the aftermarket was surprising. I want to see that not happen to one of the big boys, and then maybe I'll believe that we've made a more significant bottom.
Go get Maggie. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, contractors here are about to stage, so we're really excited for that one. So hopefully that can get worked on. And hopefully there's no problems. I see you're kind of like wondering about some problems. Hopefully there's not. So shout out to the contractors. What's up? It's Eddie, right? Shout out to Eddie. Thank you very much for doing this for us. But okay, so now the market's still going to the downside, man. We're $3 in the money on AMD. It looks like the NASDAQ will crank that 14,000 down to the downside. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh yeah, was that it? Okay, so do I think the market's going to go lower from here? Probably, and I'm going to give you Apple. I think the key is in one name and one name only, Apple. We're up today because of Apple. So, I mean, if it doesn't take out this 50-period moving average, which is 170, if we don't close near, well, we won't close near there, but if we're not there on Monday and we retrace it down and we open up like around 164, or we even close around there somewhere like that today, or we retest some of these bottoms of 162-ish today, we are in big time trouble. I mean, there's so many more reports to come. If Apple is not able to sort of hold this market up, I'm not sure what will. We had a huge report. You said it, I think, before, Neil, is that there's been so many great companies with great reports. The banks weren't that bad. We had some of the chips were okay. Western Digital, not great today. But Microsoft was good. I believe Facebook.
You know what worried me?
Yeah.
And okay, well, it's not going to seem like it because they're up 3% today, but trust me, when Danaher had fantastic, this daily's garbage. When Danaher reported, and when they reported, it was just great numbers, 20% plus growth on revenues. I mean, it was explosive, which they usually do, and it did absolutely nothing. I know it's up 2.5% today, but let's be honest, Apple's 5%, and this is ahead of the market, and it got beaten up a little bit. When I saw that, I was like, I don't know if we're ready to reward the numbers as much as we need to. So, that's just along those same lines, Sean. It's like, let's see what should happen. You got a couple of days of a rally on something like a Netflix, but I just want to see some of the bigger boys get rewarded when they post fantastic numbers. And just to go back to some trades, I mentioned I had a trail on Affirm. Well, guess what? It's bouncing a little bit here. It looked like just now this was going to be a capitulation candle again. We'd break this consolidation and then just start screaming to the downside. While the futures turned, my trail is going to break 56.5 here. I'm short at 59.5, so it's about $3 plus slippage. But I had to wait all the way around to that 60 level, and there it is. It just triggered out there. So hands were off the keys. We had our trailing stop. It'll be a winning trade on Affirm, but like that's so very different.
I just got trailed on AMD
1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I don't like this Robinhood chart compared to, I shorted in front of 54 on Affirm, and I shorted, one time in the low 59s in front of 60, and I shorted at 60. And Robinhood, like I'm not even going to bother to go over how many levels I shorted today. It's just you can try to count them up if you want. That's at least a dozen probably. Too many executions.
A name here. We talked a lot about tech names, but let's go to another name that I think should at some point bounce. And I'm just looking at Disney here. I really think that this is starting to now form a bottom down here. And, this is the next report. We sold right here on their last report, which was right here. So November 8th, I believe, was their report, or November 9th or 10th, somewhere in here. We actually sold a bit of our position, and we've never bought it back. And I'm thinking that now, before their next report, so if they reported in November, it's going to be a little bit later because some of the big guys, like it's October when they report, so November. So probably thinking January, maybe late February. Could we get, if you can find that, Valeria, I know you're super busy, but when Disney reports next, because I think that's going to be important. If it's in the next couple weeks, this may be let it settle down. But if it's going to be like next week or the week after, then I'm wondering if we just take a shot here on Disney. I feel like it's beat down a little bit. We've seen Netflix bounce back. And I don't think that like this is going to be a name that an activist or anything, like Bill Ackman's going to come in and say that he now owns a % of Disney or anything like that. But you have to remember something. Disney also has ABC. They have ESPN.
Feb 9th.
Feb 9th. Yeah, I see it in the chat there.
Never.
Okay, so it is coming up actually really soon. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's getting pretty, I guess that makes sense, Feb 9th, because it was November 9th. So I'm just thinking like right in here, I don't know. Disney for me might be worth the shot on a reopen. I feel like if there's going to be one company that's going to say something positive, it might be Disney. The travel sector, entertainment.
I've kind of held off
streaming.
on anything until after they've reported, right?
Bruno.
I didn't add, so you can't talk about Bruno.
I know, but that's the thing.
And not until I watch it.
Can he talk about Bruno on the conference call?
Like if he doesn't make a joke, low-hanging fruit, you should probably make that joke. And I don't even know what the joke is.
Don't.
But like I waited till after earnings to dip Danaher any more shares. I waited till after all of the chip machine companies like your AMATs and your Lam. Yeah. They'll all reported to get any AMAT, and same thing with Softy. And I think I'll wait till Apple shakes out. I'm not even thinking about Tesla right now. I think you can be patient, like allowing some of these names to report. And you know another thing I was even thinking about, because I've owned Disney and not sold anything for like whatever. It's been stupid because there's so many opportunities last year to sell it. But I've actually, because I don't own any Netflix, and it's like the next time I sell Disney shares, what I want to do is buy Netflix. It's like just that money should go into Netflix. So it's like it's staying in a similar place, but maybe going somewhere that it should have been since. I don't know, whenever.
Someone did have a good point there. I don't know if it was you, Jude. He's talking about AMD at the 100 level. No, don't tell me that's true.
Is it again?
I just got out of AMD at 101. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. So we just got out of that. Jude, don't scare us there for a little bit. We just got out of our, that's still Disney. We just got out of our AMD right there at 101. It did spike down to $100.40 or so on that move, but we got out of it. So we are now out at $100.10 or something. It looks like we got there. So out of that for a $2.25 winner. The only thing I want to talk about Disney quickly, because I saw someone had a good point there, and that is that we got to be able to see what their guidance is, and I think that that's going to be super important. So I may if Apple's going to do that kind of a record, release and a record quarter with all those numbers everywhere, and they're only going to be up 4% after all today, maybe 4 or 5%, maybe you should wait actually for Disney to come out, because even if they beat like crazy, kind of like how Apple did, will Disney really rally 4 or 5%? Probably is better to wait for Feb 9th after close, so maybe Feb 10th. Pull the trigger on Disney if it's positive. I would much rather, let's just call back to Disney quickly here. I would much rather go Disney long. Where's my daily chart here? I'd rather be it, and that's what I was trying to say. I'd rather it take out this 140 and I go long like 141 with momentum to the upside than sit here, take a 135, and then they disappoint, and next thing you know, you're looking at 120 again. So I do like that move. Brendo?
Dave, everyone's favorite neobank, popped up there on some volume. A few people mentioned Dave, back up 28%. Or maybe just Mark Cuban's favorite neobank. I don't see anything on that, but just a huge volume spike. Worth a mention. You guys want to talk about Affirm here, teaming up with Visa for their debit card. That was announced late yesterday.
Yeah, so look, it has a catalyst, and I think, I heard Trader Pratt say one thing, and and he said, be careful shorting something that has a catalyst. And it was so different. Like I said, A+ setup, the short 930 pop trade, and trying to get back into it, even though it looked like it was good. It looked like it was getting good here and was probably an opportunity after jamming at 53 to maybe see that works or not. And then when I reloaded in front of that 54 level, it's going to kick me, because I actually ended up in the long position. And my bias, because I don't know if it'll show my execution. Of course, it's not going to show, but I've basically shorted Affirm 9 days out of 10 since the beginning of the year. Just like there's probably like one day every other week that I haven't had some point I wanted to short. And that kind of a short-term bias probably got the better of me, because when it made this double bottom here, and this is the kind of things you got to be able to look at, right? It has a catalyst with the Visa partnership today. It's been beaten down. This is your daily chart. You're close to those lows below that 50 level in front of 45. You have a double bottom from the money lows. You put that in yesterday's action, like I said, with the catalyst, and then you're breaking back afternoon resistance, morning high, same break. I reverse into the long and do the typical Neil thing where if I don't love the direction, I give it a tight stop. It's a short. I probably would have given it more room. And then it goes exactly to the next level I would probably be shorting, which is 59 and 60. So sometimes you've got to be able to reverse. That's one thing I promised myself I would work on here, and it's just your bias can get the best of you. I know the same thing was true with Moderna when I was trading that almost on a daily basis, where there'd be these great reversals where I get stopped out on a short, and then I come back in the afternoon and look at it. It's like, why didn't I think that was a long entry if it was such a key level? And that's going to happen to you. I just trailed out as the market's trying to boom back to the upside here, and I just think when it's this strong, it's like on the daily chart we showed you, it could be a nice little temp bottom for Affirm. So it broke this consolidation. Maybe it heads to 59. I don't think I'd try shorting again unless it was 59 or 60. It probably has some room to run, like I said. Maybe it continues for a few days, and then you get a bit of a turnaround. I don't think, and let's keep in mind a few things. Like it's still just January 2022. Like we're not even getting a rate hike until March. So for some of these names, I still think it's a challenging year for them. You might get these days, and there might be impressive ones as well, and that's why getting reversal trades is so important. But it doesn't necessarily mean I think jump into it full bore and you're good to go, unless you have, like we say, starter positions, that kind of thing makes sense. You can always wait for something to break back out and show you a little bit more strength. This hasn't even consolidated yet. Look at how long, after the first time it crashed, look at how long the consolidations were. This is from June all the way into August breaking out, right? So these are the time frames you have to start thinking about. I could probably pull up a few other charts that made similar type of moves, like Virgin Galactic, and sorry to ramble on here, but I already know what this is going to look like when I call up space, if my daily chart will even load, because you have to consider how long these things might need to settle down if it wants to load for me before you're going to get a retest of some of those highs. And of course, now there we go. Before you get a retest of some of those highs. Now this stock did some similar crazy spikes to the upside, and then look at it. Look at the capitulation. It actually had to consolidate here and then traded lower again and had to absolutely wipe out. And even then, your breakouts, give it time. This is another name that didn't consolidate, and maybe it does, and maybe there's a consolidation between $8 to $10, and then you can catch a 10 break to 20. That's what you wait for in a down market, and sometimes you can be late, and that's fine, because there's so much room for some of these to go if and when they start going, and there's probably such a long time frame for these to work that you don't have to worry about missing the first 5 or 10 points.
Just quickly here, I just got into SoFi, so I just want to give everyone a heads up there. Normally, this would be a bearish sign as we take this out and then bounce around, but now you're starting to accelerate to the upside. The NASDAQ just took that out as well, so now we're trying to go to the upside. We are long into SoFi right now at 1082. This is going to be hopefully a trade for us. We will take some out at 90, and if we can go back up to the upside, we all understand that VWAP's up here, so that's going to be a target for us as well. First area to get out, 1090, which we just set around here, and then we'll see if we can go higher. Our target is down here, 1069 if we break. So we're on Hood short right now. I've already talked about why, and now we're in the SoFi long right now. I may take an offer here at around 1088, but for right now, if this market wants to go, I'm long into SoFi.
Let's talk about a few things. We'll get there in a second. Was going to mention this Dave moving back towards day highs, but why don't we try that again? Let's talk about Apple, guys. An important day for Apple, trying to lift the entire market back to the upside here off of what was an absolute blowout report in only the way that Apple can. I mean, all of the numbers were great. All of the forecast was great. Yeah. What do we do here, and is this something that we can kind of lean on?
Ooh. Oh, man.
Lots to unpack.
So, everyone's sort of been talking about, it's like every single segment was gangbusters, with the exception of, I think it was iPads, but then...
No, the only one that missed, I think, was the Mac.
Was it the Mac? Or?
Was it the Mac or the iPad? Oh, great, now we're
either way, they blamed it on, either being blamed on some supply shortages, and one of the things that Cook acknowledged that, inflation has been an issue, but hey, guess what? their margins were fine, baby. That's what you want to see. So that's exactly what you want to see. Like, can you maintain your margins when you have those costs going
I don't mean
up?
to interrupt, but you are right. The only thing that missed, it's 7.25 on the iPad revenue versus 8.2. So they miss iPad.
But everything else was blowing it out the water. And I think there's just nothing bad you could have pointed to in this report. And guess what? This was the first big earnings. And I know Microsoft was up the next day, but what you wanted to see was just the market saying, let's go right away. And let's not even, there wasn't even any kind of a pullback. Instead of let's sell it off and then gap up the next day. No, it was just right to the upside and then breaking out up 5% today. So has this caused maybe a little bit of a temp bottom? I don't know. I just know that Apple is a name that I think is going to work in all environments. I understand people are going to say there's still some expensiveness to it, but they check all the boxes. They've got the ecosystem. Again, they're able to pass on increased costs and willingly so. And that's because once you're in that ecosystem, you're gonzo. They also have a lot of diversification as well, which is a strong suit for them. I already talked about how strong their margins are. It's just, and they've already proven that they can win when it comes to supply chain. The only nitpick, and this is an absolute nitpick, is a lot of names recently have been beaten up because of their guidance, and Apple's still not giving it post-COVID. So I guess what we can't say is, well, it didn't matter that their guidance didn't blow out because we don't really know what the forecasts were. We've seen great reports this time around get beaten down because of poor guidance. So I guess there's that one little tidbit, but I think you can hang on to this. It's not at a price level where I'd be buying the dips, but I think that 58 on the daily would make some sense. But either way, it's just everything to love about it. I just wish, I just want for this to be at least a temp bottom or cause a temp bottom, but we have a lot of other earnings to still go.
Yeah, I mean, my take, I don't have too much to add to that. I mean, we have the daily chart here. You're bumping up to the 50 period is at 170, so we're pretty close to that. You're not going to find a tech stock really worth owning right now that is above the 200 period even. So, today's NASDAQ bounce of 1% is definitely helped by this Apple trade. Look, their largest ever revenue take, right? Sales up 11% despite having these supply chain issues. They expect, Tim Cook did speak a little bit, although they didn't guide, he does expect supply chain issues to improve, as I think we all do, in the next coming quarter. Look, when your biggest issues are not being able to get enough chips because of supply issues, that's like a great problem to have. I mean, it's a problem when you don't have demand for your products. It's a problem when maybe you can't make them fast enough, right? And that's sort of what you're talking about with the supply chain. They have too much demand. And if they had more chips, they might have been able to sell more. We got that report in early January that they were having supply chain issues. So I'm really surprised that they were still able to put out that 11%. And I just think that I'm seeing more and more ads for them. I think that there's over 200 billion in cash that they're sitting on so they can acquire somebody. And I think right now in this environment, honestly, Brendan, you want to be able to have cash on hand because there are so many depressed assets right now. We saw Microsoft come in and scoop up ATVI. What's next for Apple? I've hinted at Netflix, but I mean, that could get their streaming service going. And then all of a sudden, I mean, you want to talk about recurring revenues. They already have your money every single month. People subscribing to iTunes, their watch has different features. There's this service now, the credit card that they have with Goldman Sachs. What if they had Netflix? I mean, they wrap that up, they bundle that all up, guys? I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. So let's see what Apple does. They're sitting on cash. This is a name to own.
Whether you are a fan of the products or not, or have any of the products or do not, you cannot deny the importance of Apple in this market and the strength that it is providing not only today, but should going forward here. So it remains to be seen, but let's see what happens going into March and this interest rate hike after this Apple earnings report. We're going to discuss some crypto coming up here in a few minutes. But before we do that, guys, this Dave still going here. 50% now to the upside. Still don't see much on this. But remember, there's very, very few shares on this. I was going to double check, but give me a second and I will. Just breaking 13 now for Dave.
Yeah, well, I thought it had just put a failed break in at that or failed to get past that 14 level, and then it jammed back below the recent low here at 13.26. I got into the short. I was in the process of trying to get more shares at about 13.30 when it put that candle in. I'm like, how about I just cover the shares I have and let it settle down a little bit? Because I was ready. I'm like, this is a consolidation, and then it literally didn't consolidate. It just actually shot up. So thank goodness I didn't have any more shares than I did. But it feels like, every time something like this happens and you get one already monster spike, a bigger, on double the volume, another one that goes right into a key level like that $14 even, which, yeah, if I can pull up the 15-minute chart, like it goes from 4.5 to like 9.5 consolidation. So that's like, $4.5, $5 here, 9.5, $10 to the breakout. What does that take you? $5 up, right around that 14, 15 area. But it doesn't break the 14, so it fails in front of what I would think would be an obvious area, and then you're looking for the consolidation. The spread is, like Brendan said, there's not a lot of available shares, so it does have a bit of a spread, and that might have been some of the issue. But I'm going to try a couple of shots at this just because I think it's gone way too far here, and I might have been too quick to get out of this. I think maybe 13 quarters to 50s is a more reasonable entry price there to give it to that 14 high, though.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was Dave. Yeah, Mark Cuban there on Dave. I think that's his bank or whatever that he was trying to do. That's a short all day long. So I don't know about today. I haven't even looked today, but I don't.
At least till 4 o'clock.
Yeah, maybe it's a short till 4 o'clock, or I don't know what's going to happen there. But on to another stock or company that really, good move today, but still can't believe it. I'm just going to update my out here. Because we're long SoFi, because we're above the 50 period right here on the NASDAQ, and because we're above the 50 period on Robinhood, that's a trend change. So you can see we're starting to now make, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. We're starting to now make higher lows as these lows have just been ticked up a little bit. It's only pennies. You're talking about like 5 pennies difference, but you can draw a trend line to the upside right now. So I'm done shorting this until I'm right. So I'm just going to get out. So if we are short now, 12.32, so we're flat on this trade. This has been a good one for me. This is it right here. That's the 32 break. Out there in the 20s, out there 21, out there 05. So again, like these are, we've taken out here multiple pennies, and we only have 20% of the trade left. So we'll take that out for 8-cent hit if it breaks above 12.40, just in case you're wondering where the out is on Robinhood. And then if we're lucky enough to get a short back in here near 12.80, something like that, then we'll short Robinhood. The interesting thing about it is I thought, and we're going to talk crypto in a minute, but Robinhood's crypto revenues were down quarter over quarter, which is surprising to me considering the kind of drop that we've had. But and again, we'll talk about this. I'm wondering if because Bitcoin and everything is sort of hovering around some levels right now where there's not too much decision making right here, in between 36, let's call up a daily chart here quickly, in between, 35 to 40,000, I feel like, can I even zoom this back or out around there it is. I feel like in and around here, there's no one's really making any decisions right now. And I know Robinhood's was the quarter, right? So you got to kind of look back in here, what was happening over the last quarter. And as this is dropping, I feel like the people would have been buying at 50 and then maybe buying again at 40. But I can understand why Robinhood would be down on crypto trading, because unless you're buying, no one's really selling in here. So I don't know about, and I know on every transaction there's a buy and a sell, but it really needs to get spicy. And it wasn't super spicy the last quarter. I mean, it was if you're a bear and you're trying to watch this thing go down. But I'm telling you, a lot of Bitcoin holders, hodlers, Ethereum, Solana, anything like that, I'm not sure what they're doing over the last quarter other than holding their trades. So I think that probably would have been a hindrance against Robinhood. But whatever, man. Today, I mean, was going to be glad to be up on Robinhood, but we're going to see what happens right now here for Hood. So that's sort of maybe what's been happening. And I don't know the traffic on wallets, but I have a feeling that there wasn't too much in and outs here over the last quarter, more just ins and not too many outs.
One thing, just quickly before we add, I know overall, we're just talking about Bitcoin in general. This is why I don't know if it's good for Robinhood, but overall in Bitcoin, there's more actual individual accounts, wallets holding it than the last time we had a bit of a 50% pullback. So it's a very different story. So that's why it's a bit shocking to me, I would say, than that for Robinhood, because if that's the case, that there are more people now that are involved, at least holding, if not trading, then why did they do so poorly when there should have been an opportunity maybe to buy? So again, I'm glad we're going to be actually talking about this here today, because maybe we can get an expert opinion.
Let's continue the conversation. Jonathan Weisblatt joining us, President and CEO of Liquid Metal, once again to give his take on exactly this. An interesting couple of weeks, Jonathan. Good to see you, by the way. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks here. And specifically, and I know you want to mention this, but there's been way more correlation this time with what equities are doing versus Bitcoin, versus Ethereum. I'll show you both charts here coming up, but maybe talk a little bit first off about how, in the past when we've seen these huge dips and huge pullbacks in crypto markets, it really wasn't terribly correlated with stocks. So that's point number A. And then B, inflation is always in the back of the conversation here, and higher interest rates. We've talked a lot on this show anyways about the leverage that is used in crypto markets, and maybe that could be part of the reason why we're seeing one and the same movement here.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the reasons for why we're seeing more positively correlated crypto markets with traditional markets. The reason for that, in my opinion, is adoption rates. So adoption rates for crypto have risen. We saw at its most recent highs back in November, actually all-time highs, the crypto markets in aggregate were about $3.1 trillion. Today, they're 1.7 trillion. So we've seen $1.4 trillion of market value eroded. And the reason for that is last year, more than any other year prior to that, a lot of institutional investors started to adopt Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other blockchains and other assets in crypto. And as adoption rates increased, so did correlations. So correlations to other financial markets, specifically equities and other risk-oriented assets. So if you pulled up a chart of BTC or ETH, you ran it against NASDAQ, you could see how tightly correlated they were. Now, the good news for I think, crypto investors is that I believe that we put in the highs first, okay? The overall markets didn't put in their highs until, just a few short weeks ago, where Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto in general put in their highs back in November. And I think that we're putting in the lows first. So that's the good news, is that you can almost look at crypto, which is really strange to say it, as a foreshadow for what's happening in other alternative asset classes. And then the other thing that we mentioned was, what are some of the reasons for crypto markets selling off? Well, the Fed is really worried about inflation right now. So rising rates has really spooked risk asset oriented investors. What's a risk asset? Crypto. Crypto was the first to go. And then we've just seen, a 40% downward spiral to overall crypto markets since. So high correlation due to adoption rates and sell-off due to macroeconomic factors, which are working their way into all asset classes.
And I like the fact that you picked out Bitcoin, but I mean, Ethereum, the daily chart's going to be very, very similar. So let's talk specifics here. Everyone, has 30,000 kind of on the radar when it comes to Bitcoin. That 2,000 level on Ethereum. Is that where we should start to get interested?
So it's really tough in markets like these to pick a point on the chart. We've seen some basing in and around the low 2000s for ETH. I'm not a technical analyst, so we'll leave that to some of the experts on the show. But I'm also seeing a lot of support on BTC in the $30,000 level. So really want to hold those levels for some support. Seeing a little bit of resistance BTC in the $40,000 to $45,000 range. But I think with some good macroeconomic tailwinds, as the market starts to absorb the view that we're raising rates this year 4, maybe 5 times, then I think we can work our way through that resistance level. And the same thing with ETH. The low 2000s on the low end, start picking away there, average your costs lower. And as you start to see Ethereum rise back to 2,500 to the 3,000 level, you're going to start to see some resistance, I believe. Once we work our way through there, again, more positive macroeconomic factors, we should see the price start to recover and get back towards all-time highs.
We've been talking a lot on the show about relative strength and relative weakness when it comes to the equity markets. Let's maybe dig in a little deeper here, Jonathan, and kind of pull out maybe something that has acted a little bit better than most. And you mentioned Phantom to me in one of your notes that we were sending kind of back and forth between us here. Tell us about Phantom, a Layer 1 token.
Yeah, Phantom Layer 1 token just went through recently $12 billion of total value locked. So I think that makes it the third largest blockchain, third largest network. You're seeing a lot of product development and developers starting to design and build. It's very efficient, very easy. It's very cheap to build on that network. So you're starting to see it pulling market share from Ethereum, the Ethereum blockchain. That's happening across all of these alternative layer ones. So Ethereum, which is the the 800-pound gorilla, is starting to cede market share, and Phantom FTM is the token. That's the layer one blockchain that we've really seen a lot of support. It has not been immune to this sell-off. I mean, it made its recent highs in the low threes, but we're sitting here, 210, 215. It is held in substantially better. And one of the other things that I'll call out on Phantom, on the network, is that its average daily trading volumes are starting to exceed those of some of the big boys like Ethereum. So a lot of good transaction volume, really good design, and great APRs on FTM. And that's really why we're seeing that hold in as well as it has.
One of the other ideas we love to have Jonathan discuss is some interesting or maybe little known projects that are happening in the DeFi space right now. You also mentioned Ron to me. We talked a little bit last time you were on about GameFi, and you were telling us why this might be the year for GameFi versus some of the NFT action that we saw last year. NFT is obviously still all the rage. Tell us first, what is Ron and why we should be interested in it?
So Ron is the token for the layer 2 blockchain called Ronin. Ronin is the network that was designed by and founded by the same creators of Axie Infinity. We talked about Axie Infinity a little bit last week. That's the very popular mobile game in Metaverse that has more than 2 million active users. Ronin was built by the same people, and it's really catered to that play-to-earn theme that we talked about last time on the show. So emerging trend, you have Ronin, it's layer 2 blockchain, and we really think that the Ronin token, which was just launched recently, is a really interesting play for more risk-oriented crypto investors.
Interesting. Anything further on that GameFi? I know we were talking about that Axie Infinity last time. There were a few people that had some, questions or follow-up questions on that and where they can find more information out above that. Liquidmeta.io, the company's website. If somebody was looking for more information, though, where would you send them?
I'd send them to the Axie Infinity website, YouTube, other social media, content sites. They're great places for people to do their research. Get on the Discord channels, get on a Twitter. That's some of the best places, or you can always reach out to Liquid Meta, and we can help steer you in the right direction.
Jonathan Weisblatt, President and CEO of Liquid Meta. We appreciate your time as always.
Great to be here. Thank you again.
Interesting look there, guys.
Dropping some of those tokens and explaining why he likes in the Phantom one, a layer 1. I like that as well. FTM, we called that up on the chart, and it's a good one. 7-day high of 245. It's right here on CoinGecko. I had it up there for a second. We didn't show it for too long, but 245 to 189. So right now it's just kind of struggling around a little bit, but we'll see what's happening here. The maximum, how high did we get up here? $3. So we're not too far away, but nice little coin there. And again, you don't want to look at where prices have come from because you're not in it. You got to sort of look at a chart here and where we're bouncing from. So $2. I don't know much about it, so I won't speak, but that was a good one. And GameFi, if you need ideas, and I like some of those ideas. I actually have a bid at 2,100 right now, even before he said that, on Ethereum. So we'll see if we can get some ETH down there near 21.
Yeah, that 2K was amazing. With the 30,000 level in particular, if you look at it daily on Bitcoin, it can breach that, and I think still hold the general area. So you give it a little bit of wiggle room if we ever see that again. But Miss V has something for us.
Yes, Neil, and hey guys, this is the last Friday of January, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to remind you to smash the like button. We have 3.2K viewers and only 400 likes. Like button is underrated today, so please bring some energy and volume into the like and go long on the like button.
So Schwab just put a monster move in on a huge volume there, just breaking 88, going down $2. and back up 150. You're going to see, I mean, there's a technical break there. We'll see if there's any news on it. But I wanted to update Dave, which we showed you. We took one shot, stopped, and then waited. It settled down a little bit more, and we got the consolidation. It then flushed hard, went right back into this area. And you know what we try to do for targets, right? Like, this is where the breakout was on volume, right about 1165 or so. It then holds that dip price. When you enter at that point, retracement back in. So, you know, first consolidation, VWAP, and then all the way up to the bottom. If it rolls over from here, like this was our last out, and that's about like 1230, or middle out, that's about 1235. If it rolls over from here again, there could be like a 12 short with a 35 stop and then looking to break that 1160. But, you know, like I said, like this stock, whatever, like it made three $5 area type moves up. And if it's going to pull back off of each one of them, then this could still have some room to 10 for the rest of the day. It's also power hour and a Friday with the market now starting to scream, right? So looks like maybe we are turning back into the upside.
Yeah, so we're starting to level up a little bit with the siren here. Yeah, wake up, it's Friday. We're all tired this week. It's been a fun week, but we're here for another 55 minutes, taking you right into the close. We have the imbalances, of course, coming out at 350. So that should be exciting. What a great run up it's just been for the NASDAQ. We were able to take out some of the SoFi 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. So we're still in 60% of this SoFi. It goes as high as 1098 right there. Our best out though, 95. We'll see if it goes even higher than that. Was sort of expecting it to break 11, which is why I should have had an offer there. Anyways, I do now. But if we break 11, then I'm sort of looking at here like 11.15. I wouldn't expect us to sort of retest some of these highs, but the market's trying to go now. A nice little move for SoFi. We talked about pinging that right there through the 50 period. It still may not work, but we're just holding out hope for a higher move right now. If you think the market's overdone, I don't blame you. I think the Qs right now, I'm debating putting on a short. We're right into this level again on the 1 minute where we had a lot of consolidation before hitting this and tanking. So it's very, very close again. I'd rather this turn up and be up here somewhere. But again, it's just an aggressive move to the high side here. $3 almost straight up from 344. This is VWAP, right? So breaking VWAP, then making the move back to the upside. So what this is a 50 period. On the 1 minute, and then we have VWAP. For the 50 period, you can see it's not super useful when this kind of stuff happens, but I'm just using it for some targets. That's really all. So I don't know. Right now, like it's down here. If we think negatively, I'm pretty sure it will retest this level. I'm just waiting to get a little more bump up here, somewhere around this 347 as we're getting close, 347.50 or so on the NASDAQ. And then if we take out 348, then we can get out of here. But this is not a horrible time maybe to look at the short. Let's see, is Apple. Yeah, I mean, they're all, right now the NASDAQ is just doing what it's doing. Oh, someone said that, why would the NASDAQ be affected by Apple or the S&P affected by Apple when it's only 7%? Yeah, that's true, but still 7% of a piece of pie for one stock does help it, let alone all of the other names that are on piggybacking Apple, like Qualcomm, a lot of the suppliers for Apple. It's like when Boeing goes and then you see Spirit go, because again, they have the partnerships, they have the parts, the service agreements, things like that. So
I think it's more than that though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Apple comes out and sort of projects positively.
It's market sentiment. It's psychology. Like everyone's been waiting for something that's could be a positive catalyst, and something that is that big, it has a bit of a snowball effect. Right. Yeah. And look, it works the other way too, right? Like when Tesla started rolling over, you saw what that did to the markets. And I think when Netflix went downside, you saw what that did when they were the first FANG name, and we can't even use FANG anymore. So I think it's a sentiment thing. I do want to talk. We always at this time of day talk a little about relative strength and weakness. When Tesla, even after the pullback is flat on the day and the market's booming back here, Lucid is down 7%. And look, I'm not saying the stock is broken, but it's kind of broken because once it took out that 33, it has yet to really slow down. So once again here today, I think it might actually have to get and test that 25 again to maybe make a bit of a double bottom. It's now a couple of days with just ugly opens. I missed the open short on this again, of course, at 9:30, but did come all the way back up, hit that 28 area, and now just looking for a retest of the lows. And what this is in the context of the market now screaming back up again, looking to retest the highs. Like as I speak, the ES is less than 10 handles away from the high, and the NASDAQ is about 70. maybe 70 or 80 from the high of the day, and there is just nothing to the upside on Lucid. This is what we talk about for relative weakness. You could draw a trend line if you wanted. I think I'm holding this one into the close. Unless there's some kind of weird volume spike, I'm probably going to hold this all the way down to the low of the day or $25 or the close. Like one of those three things is going to be my out for Lucid. It's just so, and then on Monday, I'm going to probably be looking for some shorts as well, unless it comes screaming off of 25 late in the day. But it's just been incredibly weak. And I don't think there's going to be, like I said, I'm not sure we're done with Dave. It just curled off VWAP here. So I might take another crack at this, like I said, between 12 and 12.35 for another short, but that'll be a tight stop. I wouldn't give that to the high of day.
Dave, I never trust a company that's named after somebody, just Dave.
What about Super Dave Osborne?
I love Super Dave Osborne, man. Do you guys know who Super Dave Osborne is? I mean, that guy was amazing.
We're old.
When we were growing up, I mean, it was kind of old then.
Bob Eisenberg,
kind of old school then. What was his little partner he had there?
Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
I know. I
was
was
little
just
partner guy there.
I'm going to forget.
Anyways, all right, we'll think about who that was, but that was great. Super Dave Osborne, fantastic. It'll be the most gangster magic / stunt stuff that you've ever seen in your life. Super Dave Osborne. I believe he's passed, but I mean, what a fantastic
show. It is Bob
show.
Eisenberg, right?
I have no idea.
Anyways,
okay, it's always great, and I want to give a big shout out to Yummies here because you're going to see something right now. I've already tweeted this out. It's on the Twitter handle, and it's always great. I'll put it here in the chat as well. It's always great. See if someone has. If someone knows who that was, Chin was the guy's name? I don't know. We'll see.
What are they saying?
Fiji? I don't know. We'll find out who it is. The Chin is kind of ringing a bell, but I'm not sure what it was. So I'm not going to say anything until we find out. But it's always great when they stop by with burgers. Check this out. Go to yummies.ca. Fantastic. His name is Daniel. Here he is right there. What's up, Daniel? Coming through here. But watch this burger in about a second. Maybe we can zoom in on that, guys. On the big, I don't know if that's any better. But watch this. This is called the King Burger. You lift it. The guy brought 10 of these. You open this up. Some had bacon, some didn't. Blah, blah, blah. But this is what Neil's talking about here. Neil had half of one of these, and I had like 2 bites. It was like, I'm taking this thing home. So shout out to Yummies. The burger is absolutely fantastic, and thank you for swinging by. And again, if anyone wants to swing by and hook us up with something, you can do that. I'm looking at you, Super Chicken, because, Pratt has spent about, I think on the last count, it was like $14,000 he spent there.
Okay, here's the thing.
Pratt is he's nixing that, though.
Super Chicken, they're okay, but those burgers.
Those burgers were fantastic, so a big shout out. If you want to grab a burger.
We'd already had lunch.
Go to Yummies. I didn't even know about this place, and now we're advertising. And this is no ad, man. There was nothing paid for, nothing. Daniel showed up, and that was absolutely fantastic.
I'll tell you this right now.
Maggie came running and was like, there's a dude with burgers.
We love food. I love food, and I'll be the first person. If it's good, I'm just gonna tell you it's good. I don't give a damn, man. You ain't gotta pay me. If it tastes good, I'm gonna let you know it tastes good. And that burger was lit. It was on fire. The fries, the fries are solid, but the sauce.
Oh, there's some sauce.
The sauce, two different sauces with the fries.
The name on that, but
and I'm not a sauce guy. When it comes, no. I love sauce, but not on French fries. I'm not. If it's a good fry, I don't need it, but I'm dipping away at those. So.
Is that a Canadian thing? Does anybody in the States? I know that a lot of people dip. This is going to sound gross if you don't do it, and it's not very healthy. But some people dip French fries into mayonnaise.
Okay, don't get me and mayonnaise. Straight mayonnaise?
Yeah, straight mayonnaise.
I can't.
The good stuff. I'm not talking about Miracle Whip. I'm talking about Hellmann's or some organic, some real mayonnaise is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so
I've had it before. It's not something that you want to have all of the time for obvious reasons, but I think people on the chat.
You could mix mayonnaise with other things to make sauces that are worthwhile.
Oh, yeah,
mayonnaise by itself.
I'm not saying I just
in a potato salad or some other
mayonnaise as a condiment.
I don't understand mayonnaise, man. I don't get it. I don't understand why people like it so much.
It has to be on every sandwich, period. End of
story. Mustard
story.
Needs to be on it.
Okay. I agree. I think mustard.
Shall we know each other a long time?
I don't put butter on my sandwiches. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. Now we're back
done that. I ain't doing that.
Yeah. You don't need the butter. You don't need butter. But
I'll take some prosciutto, honestly, some melon. Give me a piece of bread. I'll just eat it like this. I ain't need no sandwich. But anyways, we love sandwiches. They're my favorite food. Sandwiches.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, my favorite. like class of food, sandwiches. That's not even a class. I don't even know. But
foods aren't in class. Are they even in classes?
I don't know.
You can't say that.
But this is Friday, guys.
I did say, okay, so I'm back into Dave. That we were talking about this at one point? Yeah, we were. But it needs to break. You're not going to see me on the bid until we take out like 11.75 or so and then try to get down to the 50. Try to grab a 50-cent win on it. And then, see if we can't hold for what could be a bigger bottom to the downside. I'm going to keep tracking Tesla. I just finished saying when even Tesla was up and Lucid's down and Tesla, it was up. It was above that 830 mark. It just turned again to the downside. I mean, the futures were getting to that high. They turned off of the highs. But I'm leaning to the short side just because it's been such a good day and profit taking has been a thing. If you got something off the bottom, fair enough. I do have my eyeballs on AMC, which trailed me out. And I saw someone in the chat saying there's something trending, or I don't know if it's trending, where they said something online about people buying AMC going to the close. I can either confirm or deny. I haven't checked to be able to see whether that's trending. I have no clue. But if that's the case, it did have a failed break at 15, which I think probably caused that pullback into VWAP, and I should have gotten out when I saw that it was a failed break, but I got greedy. If we were to hold VWAP and reclaim like that 15, maybe like quarters break or something like that, because 15.25 is a high, then there's a chance that it could go. We'll do this. We can hit some Superman. Miss V is not going to be here next week, so we'll hit this one.
That's Baldanil on Superman.
But I just got the first 50-cent winner. The next one on Dave. That continues to flush to the downside, and people keep saying, you'll make me look. It's like the third or fourth time I've seen someone say, look at KSCP. So without even knowing what the stock is, I will look it up, and good call. Because sometimes we get symbols, and if you look it up and it's not doing anything.
You're getting pratted.
But this is actually moving, so thank you for pointing this one out.
Like Pride, we looked at that stock, D's. That was a great one.
He's Ron Burgundy.
That's a great one. I want to say something to Tara Bailey. We've actually tried this in my house because we didn't have butter. Trust me on this one. It tasted fine. I couldn't tell the difference. Replace the butter with mayo on your grilled cheese.
I can leave now.
Yeah, you can leave if you want
to. That
is
ridiculous.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody's done that. I didn't even go through this.
That's ridiculous.
But I just want to let people know if has anybody done that?
You must be
butter
crazy.
Replaced butter with mayo on grilled cheese there. So, all right, let's get going here on this one. If you haven't do so, please hit the like button. If you want more random talk like this, we will do that.
Look, man.
We can put up a poll. Why don't we put up a poll? Just say mayo, yay or nay. Like yes or no. We're not talking about sandwiches. We're not talking about grilled cheese. Just like, are you a fan of mayo, Valeria, or not? So that's going to be the question. And I don't want to involve Brendan because the minute we involve Brendan, it's going to have to be like oat milk mayo or something crazy like that. And I'm not playing. I'm talking about real mayo. You got it, Brendan?
You've never had real mayo, Sean.
We make mayo fresh.
He's about to tell you the fresh mayo that he makes every night.
No, we make mayo at home.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, mayo's great. I want to mention, guys.
Mayo's great. See,
there's
of course he's gonna say.
There's stuff happening. Let's go to
2-1, Neil.
Vodafone here, going crazy right now, guys. A big move up on a note that activist investor Sivian is said to have built a large stake in Vodafone. So this popped up a few minutes ago. So heads up on VOD.
I think that's part of what we're talking about with some of these opportunities. I mean, when you're going to get a depressed asset that someone wants to come in and pick up, like, I don't know, what is Vodafone here on there? Thank you, Ms. V. The poll is in. For some reason, I cannot vote on any polls. I feel like that's because someone's done something to my account, probably on purpose. Okay, let's check out Vodafone here. So no PE. These guys aren't even making any money whatsoever. A nice little spike up there to 4%. Let's check out the daily chart. I guess it's not super depressed here, as much as I thought, off the recent bottoms up to 1760. So as you mentioned, just looks like adding to their portfolio and a percentage of holdings. Remember, the minute you own a certain percent, over 10%, you have to disclose. So we'll see what happens here with Vodafone making moves to the upside. I'm only in one name right now, and it's SoFi, because we've been a little distracted. But yeah, no, we make, like, you've seen all the stuff that my wife makes. She does make the homemade fresh mayo, and you got to get the eggs, so on and so forth. It's fantastic, but let's see who wins this.
Yeah, I mean, I know who should win.
I have no voting rights. I have like Class A shares in this place.
I know who should win it, but we'll see what happens. Like, we'll leave it to you guys.
Should win?
It's what matters. I know I'm trying to make sure people vote my way, but look, you like what you like, and you got to do you. This KSCP, first day to market, just actually It opened back up. It retested the high. It got past 13. I think it kind of ticked to like 28s here and then put in its first little bit of a failure. And it's like, it would probably have to fail that halt price after going there and then drop below 12. I think feels a little bit safer. And while that's happening, another name, which you know if you were, oh, come on, give me a break, Flip. A little slow chart. There was also a volume spike, if you remember, SRRA. That's still above. I'm actually surprised to see that it's back above that 26. I thought that short from yesterday was a bit of a capitulation and we'd have another down day. It just didn't happen. So, it rounds off, it holds this level and is trying to break back out. Now, the reason, it's not a bad idea to short off the top, but if it takes out that high, I really do think it's 29.30 that you'd want to dig into on Sierra. So I might sit that one out. It could be worth it, but it just sort of gave you that look off the high, and it's already giving you like 50-cent win there. I think that KSCP could be a little bit spicier going into this close, but it's still bouncing off the whole price, holding above 12, not really showing signs of capitulating yet.
Okay, so right now we are starting a new position. We'll see if this works. We're going to short. Actually, you know what? If I'm going to short the market here, I should probably get out of SoFi. I mean, both can work for sure, but we're going to have to wait to see where we can go. So let's go over to SoFi right now and see if we can't get an order out because we are now short on the market. It's up to 91. We'll see if we'll take, oh, there. I mean, whatever. We put the offer out and it runs right over us. So we just take a 91 out there on SoFi. Like, I literally put it out and it just prints all the way up to 92. So maybe we're going to be wrong here on SoFi. Who knows? But there it goes. SoFi, we're out now of half of this trade. And I just feel like maybe we're struggling up here. The reason for the short, let's go over to the Qs right now. It just pumped into the money there a little bit for us. But again, into this area, we've already been up here all afternoon. So we've been, okay, now we're starting to extend. We just took another short there, which is good. I mean, SoFi now ripping. Let's go, SoFi, all the way to the upside. We're making more money. I mean, we have more shares on SoFi, but obviously we identify that the fact that the Qs can just rip uncontrollably. So we'll ease into this one and we'll let our SoFi continue to go up. Our next fill out right here is going to be 99 on SoFi. We're in the money now, 14 cents, which, hey, man, that's 1.4% on 10 bucks. So I never actually look at it like that, but I'm just trying to conceptualize in my head, like how many pennies do we really need for this to be a successful trade? So let's go back to the Qs right here. We're testing up to these levels because I don't have many shares and I really don't believe that we're going to close on the highs today. It would be fantastic if we do. We've talked about that. It's just in time, and thank you so much for that. And I know you asked about that. Thank you so much. I owe you one.
Did you get a burger?
The coffee has come.
Did you get a burger?
He passed on the burger. But there are extras, man.
It's so good. Is it good? Yeah, it's really good.
Justin, you chop the wood, I'll pile it, okay? All right, done. All right, so here we go, guys. Thank you, Justin, for the coffee there. 348.50. Yeah, right now, so it's 320. Sorry, the price 348. Neil, sorry, is what I was looking at. Neil said it's 320. No. Oh, you mean for the coffee? It's too late for you to have a coffee?
No. I heard you say 3:48.
Right, that's what I thought.
I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 3:20. There's plenty of time left in the day.
Yep.
No, that's my bad.
Yeah, just quickly, I'll just finish this thought, and then I'll have a sip of this coffee. I like the dark roast 1 milk from McDonald's, so thank you so much for that one. I'm just looking to say, I don't think we take out the high of the day. If we do, that's fine. We'll get stopped out. This is not something that we're like piling into. I don't necessarily believe it, but I like the short against the long right now, and I know the trend is your friend, which is why we're not piling into this thing. Just looking for a retracement back here, down to 346 flat, something like that. If we can get that on the Qs, we'll take that buck and run away. But what's going on now, Brendan?
Neil, you were asking about KSCP. KSCP. Nightscope. Apparently, they were out today with a news release talking about a new Fortune 500 Fortune 500 company they've added as a client. And to answer your question, yes, this was an IPO yesterday, in fact.
Okay. Why did I think it was today? Whatever.
Maybe our chart, maybe there wasn't much trading. Well, there would have been trading yesterday.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't in the system. It wasn't put in the system right there.
Why Justin Bieber complained about these lids. Can't even get these things open.
They're not the greatest, those Tim Hortons lids. But hey, Tim Hortons, a fantastic Canadian company. But I'm not a huge fan of the lids. And I actually think their coffee is a bit overrated. McDonald's is pretty good. Anyways, I'm trying to reload day, but I want it over $12 if I can get it. And we finally started to head below this $12 level on KSCP, which is kind of what I wanted to see. Like, let's get below the halt price where I can actually take like a tighter stop trade. Like now that I say that, it's sort of bouncing back above here. So if it makes a spike and I can get like in front of 13, other than that, I want it below that whole price, which is about 12.25 or so. So I was about to say it's going to give me that entry short, and then we just pop back up. That'll have to be off the high of the day now. It's so top heavy here at this point in the volume. And the last, like, it reopens after the halt up and then just runs out of, tries to spike to the high of the day and runs out of juice, which is usually a pretty good short setup. I don't really have a trail for Lucid. It's just, the market continues to try to go and it just flushes. It continues to show no strength and wanting to flush. So I'm going to hold it. No target. I'm not going to put a bid out until probably 345. I'll make a decision on that. And then someone also mentioned Sierra, which I'm looking at it. It just has to get back up to the high of the day. So it's going to be, it's going to be Dave, it's going to be KSCP, it's going to be Sierra. Some of these names are starting to be runners in the afternoon that I'm watching.
Just looking at the chat here, see if there's any names. Yeah, we don't have Dutch Bros here, so I can't judge that coffee. But I would go McDonald's #1, and then I would go Starbucks, and then I would go Tim Hortons. And of course, McDonald's used to be wholly owned Canadian, but now it's QSR, of course. The same guys that own Popeyes. So if you like that, in Burger King. They're QSR, so you can grab that stock as well. We just took another piece off on SoFi there, got a 97 print, so yeah, that's going to be a good one. So we'll hit a home run, but this is a slap shot, so we do shout out to the Maple Leafs that are rocking and rolling right now. Great game again yesterday. Okay, so...
What about our soccer team?
Yeah, 2-0 against Honduras. Wow. But Honduras was in last, we're in first. So, but still,
hey man, you got to win the games you're supposed to win.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to go 2-0 against Honduras, and I think now, pretty much now, as long as they don't epically fail,
like 5 times.
They should qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, that's
a
big deal for us.
They're in Qatar, so that'd be awesome. Okay, so just like the only position we have on right now, we're going to get one more trade in right now, I think, anyways, as the NASDAQ just keeps on rocking to the upside. So we are fully aware that, we get taken out of this, we get taken out of this. I go right over to Apple, and we notice that Apple right now, yeah, buddy, is at the high of the day for Apple. We love when we see that, man. Apple's a huge part, although I did sell some yesterday, so I don't get this 6% on 15. I think it's went out to be 18% of the portfolio, so I did sell out of some yesterday, raised some cash, just wasn't sure about what the quarter was going to be, but hey, I mean, Apple's still a monster in the portfolio. We have Microsoft, we have Amazon, we have Google, all big cap tech, so we'll lighten up just in case they miss. They don't. What a great earnings report for Apple, and we already talked about them today, so as they continue to make moves to the upside here, we expect the same for the market, but here we come, crashing back down goes the NASDAQ. We were so close to getting filled. We were about 20 pennies off. 348.50 is actually where we were sitting. We don't, 348.40, we missed it by 20 cents, but now it's coming back into the downside. This is right where we're short, man, so we've averaged in. Our average price is 347.30. You can see it on the board, and if you are wondering what the Qs are, it's just the NASDAQ 100. So the triple Qs, let's go Qs. Market cranking lower here. We like you a lot, as we did. Oh, okay, SoFi, let's go. You don't put mayonnaise on pizza, do you? Or pineapples, right, Neil? But as you keep going to the upside right now, yes.
That's disgusting.
Kiss of death. Yeah, well, obviously you don't put mayonnaise on pizza.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. Where's the poll, by the way? Let's go to Valeria in a minute. We'll get a poll update, because again,
it's interesting that you're talking about food that I find like not appetizing on a day where I've probably eaten more by this time of day than at any point in my life. So I don't want to be thinking about nasty foods, bro.
Point in your life. I thought you were saying that when you were in university there, you had like 400 tacos one day.
I've done some dumb stuff when it comes to eating food. That is absolutely true.
Right.
Are we going to Miss V?
Yeah, what's up, Ms. V? How are we? Are you guys ready, Robbie? How are we with the A, the like count, and then B, how's this poll turning out?
Let's do this. So guys, 653 people participated in our poll. Are you a fan of mayo? And majority is a fan of mayo, 64%. 36% not really. And in terms of likes button, guys, we need just 200 more likes to get 1K. I remind you that this is my last day, then I go to vacation and we'll be back on February 14th, St. Valentine's Day. And I would really appreciate if you support, and if you will be missing me, please smash the like button. Back to you guys.
Look, I absolutely love this community. I think it's the best community out there. You guys are all amazing. You're wrong. No, it's okay, fine. Everyone do you. I just, really,
Why the people's trader? We let the people speak, Neil. And
I
they
keep
have spoken.
Look, man, I keeps it real.
They have
Mayonnaise.
spoken.
Oh, by the way, high today on KSCP. I don't know what other stock is.
You know what? What's the float on that, Brendan? This KSCP. I mean,
I can't.
Probably like sub 5 milli. I mean, the thing's probably not going to stop, bro.
If it turns at 14, I'm going to take a shot.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it's going to turn at some point, right?
Right. I mean, usually that's what happens. Someone asked about Lucid. I asked in the chat. They're like, "What do I do? I'm holding Lucid at 29." And like, are you buying Lucid for the long term and you want to hold on to that position for 5 years, or where you swing? If you're swinging it, then I think there was a level around 24, 25 on the daily. But if you really do believe in the company, if this is your pick for an alternate EV name, then look, then long term, it's probably fine to have started nibbling as long as it's like a 10th quarter, something like that, a reasonable amount, and you can give it some runway. It might not be an easy first half of the year for a stock like that, but there's nothing wrong with picking a name you like and then knowing you want to buy it on dips. Just understand that it's the valuation's got out of control, and when these things come back, it has yet to calm down and consolidate since breaking that level yesterday. And you might want to wait sometimes for it to calm down, which just hasn't happened. Look at Affirm. Like Affirm based out at the bottom a little bit and got to some really, really key levels on the daily chart and then made a bit of a bounce today. That can happen for Lucid, but it just broke major support yesterday and is still going down today. So it's a bit hard to say it's done yet.
Yeah, no, poutine is cheese and gravy. So cheese curds and gravy. So proper poutine. And I've had some amazing poutine. If you guys ever near Quebec, yeah, exactly. Up north where my wife is from, absolutely fantastic. So shout out to everybody who's had great Canadian poutine to go with the maple syrup. But you do not combine those again, because that would be gross. So thank you so much, guys. Everyone's just absolutely loving the commentary, and I've talked about this with you before, Brendan. And that is that I think we should still be doing like a podcast, because you think this is funny now. Like imagine a podcast where then I don't have to worry about any of these crazy rules and things like that. So
I bite my tongue a lot, but
I think exactly. Yeah. So I think a podcast would be fun. But there we go. Let's go. We hear Trader Brad bang right now, and we get the energy back right now. Thank you so much for this. As the money comes spinning out. See ya, market. Bang. That's exactly what we're talking about. We get elevated. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now as the Qs. See ya. They go to the downside right there, and I hope that you guys had this trade with me. Thank you to Danielle Shea. I see some very nice tweets out there, and again, thank you so much. She knows a lot of traders, and some of the compliments that she's giving me is very, very kind. So thank you, Danielle, for that one. But there it is right there. We bang out another one. DJ College, Trader Prad. It's another one is here as we are now short on the triple Qs. $1 and change in the money as we continue to go lower, lower, lower. Let's see how low we do go. It sucks that we missed that by 20 cents, but whatever, man. That is what it is. It's a nice win for the triple Qs. And not only that, the best part about this trade, guys, is I'm almost all out right now. And safe travels, Miss V, that's for sure. You will be missed here, hand over fist for sure. There goes SoFi, and that's what I was going to tell you guys about, is that we are out of SoFi, man. Like we literally have 20% left. All of this is just cash. There's Miss V. She didn't even hear what I said, but there's all the cash there, and we want to wish Miss V safe travel, of course, over and over again, as many times today as we possibly can. We'll miss her. You say you're back on Valentine's Day, or no? Oh, she's back on Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's nice. Oh. So a nice 2 weeks there, so that'll be fun. So I just want to tell you, SoFi, I'm getting out of the last 20% for flat. If it breaks 80s, I'm not going to give it down here. I just don't want to lose what we've done up here already. If this market wants to crank, I know SoFi will go down. And I'm just going to hold this. It's not a proxy by any stretch or a hedge. SoFi is not going to move as aggressively as the market, but at the same time, I'll hold it in case it goes back up. We can capitalize on that, and we'll lose on the rest of our Qs position. But for right now, we'll re-engage with SoFi, give it to 1080, and if it breaks that, then we're out of SoFi, guys.
Yeah, and we just broke the next level of support there on that day position. Like I said, I want to give this one some room to the downside. Actually, I might get out in front of 11 to take $1, but I'd like to give it some room. Like I'm going to be bidding on the other side of 11 just in case it really starts to flush. It had one huge capitulation that picked up 2 of my orders so quickly, and I want to let this one breathe a little bit. Speaking of which, we let this breathe. KSCP got it right that time. First out there, want to try to make it 1-to-1. We're short in front of that 14 level. I mean, high of the day is technically 1390. I got some out right in front of 13. I'm bidding in front of 1250. So always, I always try to take some profit when we're going counter trend up here. So the next cluster will get out in front of that 1250, which also happens to be above the halt price at 12.25. I would then try to let it fall below that 12 in case it wants to take out the halt bottom. So lots of trading opportunities in the afternoon. That Sierra never really materialized for me though. Good call out. I don't mind because it was a great stock yesterday. So always want to point those out when they move. Look at Tesla, by the way. It's just back and forth. It closed, like VWAP's here at 829, and it closed at 829. So it's going back and forth, positive to negative, and not really doing a heck of a lot. It's a bit of a disappointing afternoon because, look, it's been fireworks the last couple of days on Tesla. To have it in the middle of the range, I suppose, is a good thing because it's not flushing, but yeah, a little bit boring on this name. So I'm glad there's some other ones that we're able to take some winners on and be actively trading. And just to tick back in on what I was in at the end of or earlier, good trail out. Like every now and then, like I complain about my trail outs, but this one with a trailing stop actually ended up working because Affirm came right back. And this is an important level on Affirm because when we shorted off that top, it just hung here at 58 over and over again, just barcoding. And it got to that price again. And you're just going to see it just somebody keeps holding it right around this level. And it's not precisely at 58. It'll break it, go like 10, 20 cents, and then just find a bit of a bottom and come right back up. So somebody likes this stock at that price. Certainly, I don't know whether it's short covering or maybe somebody loading up. It's close enough to the bottom that this actually could be legitimate buying.
I see a lot of talk about AMC. I do think that there's a chance this thing ramps up. Yesterday, we absolutely destroyed it to the short side. Short AMC here, 1640 yesterday, guys. Short AMC in, then shorted again at 1550, down. And then we started to go long near the end of the day. Didn't really work out the last long we had. This one was okay, long at 1480 off that bottom. But that worked out. Other than that, like we took our out there off of this short. So yesterday was an AMC. I think it was was probably my number one stock. But today you're seeing absolutely no trades on it, which is strange because we jumped all the way down to 13. The problem is the market was tanking like crazy, and that happens at 10 o'clock. Not that the market was tanking. It's just we're into so many different names. I mean, I had the $5 winner on Microsoft on the way up here. We just missed that AMC. But again, that 1350. Wow. Didn't think we'd get that low on AMC for sure, but right here we are looking at this 50-period moving average. That, possibly something there. I just wish AMC was down here, and then I could say that we like the long, which we should have had. Look at all of this consolidation down there at VWAP. Like, if that's not a perfect storm, all you have to do is bracket this, right? So you could put a bid if we break the high of 1450 right there, and then you get 50 cents to the upside, or you put an order down here if you break the bottom of 1430 there, then you can probably get the retracement back down. So it's just a bracket. That's basically what I do. Look for some consolidation like that and then play it one way or the other. This way would have been long because we were easy to say, right? But it's a long, and I'm explaining to you, above VWAP there. So that's why I would have looked for a long there. But again, if it would have broke, then we would have taken the short. And either way, you're using this VWAP as your out. So very little risk there with what appears to be some decent reward. And then somebody are going to get hurt real bad because right now the futures are now starting to take off to the high side. Good thing we cashed that out, or half of it out anyways. We reload it back here, which is why the position doesn't look that bad. It's just a straight reload right now off of 349. If it takes out 349, then we will take this position out. Obviously, Apple is just running this market here as Apple just keeps going higher and higher, and the NASDAQ literally has no choice but to do the same thing. So we'll wait to see here what happens. Again, 10% of the NASDAQ. We'll wait to see what happens with this name. But Q's, the out on this is 349. The high of the day, that's basically where the high of the day was there. Forget about the 355. It's right here. It's 348. It's 348.90, I guess. So we'll take that for what it's worth, and we'll bump that up a little bit and get out 50 cents from here. So, hey, our futures trade here could turn out to be a loser. Let's just see if we ramp up, which we are. Yeah, we're ramping now. The NASDAQ just took this out. They're looking to take out these highs, man. It wouldn't be up here if they weren't. So I'm short now. I believe in the short, but it's definitely looking more and more like 3-to-1 the other way that we take out these highs.
I mean, Apple just made a fresh high and is kind of consolidating here, and we're not quite. The ES is through, but the NASDAQ it's still fighting 14.3. So there is a bit of a battle happening at the top, I think, still. By the way, there is an iceberg on 13 on KSCP, so I'm taking more shares out there. So that's only a 50 cent. And I know we wanted a little bit more than that, but that's that 1-to-1 area. And when you have an iceberg buyer at a key level, it's 340 this late in the day. I'm going to have to take another leg out. If it drops, I'll now play it by ear. I won't be sitting in front of 1250, but I'll play it by ear with the rest of the position. It's just, you're running out of time and somebody's still buying it up at that price. So we'll go a few more shares out at 1-to-1. Dave is going to be a similar story. I'm canceling my reload because it's too late. I don't want the reload. I still think it has a chance to flush, but, market booming a little bit. We're running out of time. So as much as these have worked out for us, let's not get too greedy. We were greedy a heck of a lot on every single time. We're in the money on Robinhood this morning and got greedy with it, and that was a mistake. One name that we have not mentioned, at least in the afternoon show, we talked about this one in the morning, so it is worth checking back in on it. 100 on Square. It never actually got hit. But we keep talking about capitulation bottoms and what happens when you make a double bottom like this. So Square has put in a double bottom off the Monday lows at 102, not even 100. And it rejected right off of 111, which was this key top yesterday is the same high. So when we sit down on Monday, if the markets are looking green and Square has a chance at a breakout at 111, you're going to sign me up for that level. I think that could be interesting. And of course, as I decide that I'm going to use that iceberg to get more shares out of KSCP, it then promptly decides to break said iceberg and now head to the downside. So it looks like we'll get the buck on this. I might have spoken too soon, but this one now looking like it's headed to the downside. But there's still 20 minutes left in the session. And when these things are this close to the top and still doing volume, I always have a stop. Like I'm not, my stop is if it breaks the high of the day, I'm going to be out. But I want to give it that room for the old VWAP retrace.
Yeah, oh man, I wish we didn't have these, and that's the problem with the Qs, man. We have these crazy wicks up here, so it makes the chart look even more ridiculous. But okay, we didn't draw, we had one chance. I'm just gonna say, we're fully getting ready to get out of this one. My orders are already all prepared. They'll punch me out. We probably will test a little bit of a long here, as it looks like we've held up. Now. So I was just going to say this one red candle, and it's too bad we have this wick all the way up here. I just can't edit it in time to show you, but it didn't fall down there, and it actually took out the high of that this red candle. So it wouldn't have normally, let me see if I can edit this. What is this, 357, 337, 337. You see, it thinks the high was 357 there because there was a D print there. So 348, 45. We'll push OK. We'll push OK again and edit this out there. That looks a little bit better now, although we still have that one there. But anyways, it closed, it opened up higher there. It closed higher than the wick of that last candle there. So, I wish I could zoom in a little bit more, but that's very, very bullish. It doesn't even, it covers up, basically is what I was saying. It covers up. This could have been a doji star to start to create a downward move there, but you see the next candle covers that one up, creating no doji star there. But it looks like right now we're trying to form one. If this next candle is red, then, but it tried it there and doesn't look like it's going to do it. If this next candle closes red, then we have a much greater chance of it going back down to the downside because we had an exhaustion wick up there to 348.90. So if this next candle here, it's not going to, but if this closes red, then we have a much higher chance of this move coming back down to the downside because it confirms that little wick up there. But it looks like it may even close higher than that, which again is another bullish indication. So one denial there, one denial here, and it doesn't even know what it wants to do. It just closed right there flat. So it looks like it's going to push higher here. So watch out for the futures. I put the chances higher that we go to the upside right now, but we're still dancing around. None of these candles are confirming anything. It's just I would have liked to see the move already have happened to the downside right now as SoFi is straight back to 11 again, and we just kill this. We didn't get anything out on the way down there. We told you we were holding it just in case we were wrong on the futures. So right now SoFi goes back up, and you know what? One making money, one losing money. I'd rather the Qs make me money because I think there's bigger upside there, but it's nice to have some kind of a long.
Yeah, we'll be happy. I'm going to be pretty happy the fact that we took some more shares out of that KSCP when we saw the iceberg, because right after it broke the iceberg, it popped off 1250 and made a fresh high. It's too late. I'm not going to re-enter in the trade, likely off the top, but someone did ask what it looks like. How do you look at the level 2 and notice an iceberg? Now, I can't call up a random stock and have there be an iceberg order. It doesn't work. I'll never get that lucky. But essentially what it boils down to is you find a key price level and maybe like this 61 area. And then as it sells into that price, like you see all the size, those 200s or these 2000s go down to 100 shares with continuous printing, like maybe some 500, some 1,000, some larger share lots, still printing at that price when no size reloads. So now you're printing bigger size fills off the bid than are actually being shown. And then often after that's happened a bit, people recognize there's an iceberg there. They join the bid to try and jump in front so they can buy in front. And then they start shaving in front of it, which is like bidding, like the 1s and 2s ahead of a level like that. And then it starts to go. So, I mean, hopefully that makes sense, but like when you see it enough times on a level 2 and watch your level 2s when you're trading a stock like that, you see it enough times and it's almost like instant. Like you can just tell, like it slams the level and you see more prints and you're like, well, that's an iceberg. Like it should have broken the level, the amount of volume I just watched going off at that price level and the amount I saw in the bid. So we try to recognize them quickly. If I'm going counter trend, and to me, it's already a key price level where I was looking to take some shares out, and an iceberg steps up there. Well, guess what that also is? If you're short off the top, if you're thinking about where to get profit out, that's previous high levels. If you had the last time after the halt trade, like it tried to spike up past that 13, failed at 13. So it's kind of this previous resistance turning into potential support. So if there's an iceberg buyer up there, then you might want to pay attention to it because sometimes it can mean a little something. Either someone is really good or maybe they got more shares to do. So either one of those reasons is something you want to pay attention to. And that's why we watch the level 2. Like every single one of us here, we trade off the charts, we'll show you, but we all look at level 2s and we all look at the time in sales. That's an important part of day trading. And Tesla back in the green.
Yeah, Tesla back in the green, the market back in the green. We get out of that Q's trade for a loss there, but we did reverse it into the long. So we talked, I just did work for you guys there on candlesticks, and I hope it made some sense to you. And we said that, I put the odds way higher that it breaks, and I should just trusted myself there, but that's fine. In and out. So we will turn that negative on that. But now that we've taken it out, we're going to give this back a little bit here, like 348.50. If we're back in here into this consolidation area, then we're just going to get it out and wait for. We don't see the main problem with holding a futures trade right now is. And we're going to have Arun here. And again, Ms. V not here with us the next 2 weeks. She'll be back in February 14th. But again, the problem with right now is we have coming out the imbalances. And no matter what you think about, these aren't live. I'm going to edit this again. I don't know why it doesn't save. Like I uncheck ARCA all the time and then it just comes back. But the point I'm getting at is as the imbalances start to roll through, they affect these NASDAQ. And so right now we're kind of holding out, waiting to see if it's going to be an up print or a down print coming out with the imbalances in just less than 4 minutes. But on that note, Brendan has some.
Found one that might have won the day at least. FICO, an earnings name today. Fair Isaac Corporation, up huge off of a decent report, just popping up on more volume, 490 now for that one. Also wanted to mention this XOM starting to tick back to the upside. Watch 75 there. It's trying to get green on the day. They just came out and said their union discussing agreement to end the lockout that's currently going on in refineries in Texas, guys, for XOM.
It wasn't even on our list. Chevron reported, and we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, we should talk about Chevron.
We'll look at them in a minute. I'm just trying to watch these cues.
I have to watch Lucid because as much as I was saying I'm going to hold this one into the close, it's because I really didn't think it was going to retest VWAP. And finally, like at some point, the market just started screaming enough that even Lucid started to go here. It's not at VWAP or 27, where I'll be put to the decision. It's also getting close to 350 with 3 minutes till the imbalances come in. And we like to try to trim positions that, in any name that could have a bit of a spike. If you're in the money, sometimes giving up a little extra doesn't make sense. So I'm probably, I'll just have a stop at $27. So if there's a big buy imbalance, that'll probably trigger me out. Otherwise, we'll try to hold Lucid into the close. But it does look like it's slowing down just a little bit here to the downside because the market is entirely too strong. The relative weakness in Lucid is still valid. It's just obviously this end of the day rally is a bit too much. And then, something like a Dave doesn't really feel like it wants to go here. So it's now completely barcoding. I might just pop on the bid in front of this low of the day and sort of give up hope with that 1075 area. Maybe stick a bid in front of 1050 and then see if 1150 I should say, and then just see if we can get out. Time to start thinking about getting flat and reacting to some of the imbalances when they come.
Yeah, thanks, Brad, for your kind words there. Yeah, I think it's been a great show, and thanks for hitting the like button as well. Let's see if we get elevated right now into the closes. We're long now the market into this close. We were short. Like, this is how fast we can switch it, like bang, like that, right? You're not married to anything in as far as the market is concerned. What's up to my wife? But we'll wait to see here as we go up to the upside. I actually had a 350 offer to take a smooth dollar on this, but right now we'll try to celebrate it with a little bit of a backflip here as we are now 70 cents in the money on this name. And then just to go with it, man, we got out of the 10%, so we only have 10% left. We had, each one of these is 10% out on SoFi. This was one of the better trades for me this afternoon. I mean, really, it's just as clean as it gets all the way to the upside. We hold. Like, look at this. Hold for that, let it fall back down. Hold for that, let it fall back down. Hold. So now we'll see if we can get up to 11.10 or so on SoFi. If we do that, then hell yeah for that one. As here we go, the market now back to, man. And we'll do this again for Miss V there. We'll do it all next week too. But up to the upside as Apple, what is it taking at 170 right now? AAPL, yeah, 170 right now in Apple. Like, Apple up 7%, guys. Do you know how much market cap that is? That is ridiculous. Like, they're approaching again that 3 trillion. 182 gets them to 3 trillion.
You gotta do that when you like the 3 trillion.
Yeah, the trillions.
What's his name?
That's what you're talking about, Goldmember?
No, Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil, yeah.
I don't know why I
Mike
can't
Myers
think of it.
there. That's
Canadian content.
That's
baby.
what I was saying. Goldmember there.
By the way, guys, like, next time, if there's some like online thing where everyone is buying AMC. And I know you guys have said it, but like, man, I wish when I put the trailing stop in, I really wish I had known that there was going to be some campaign to run AMC to the high of the day. But anyways, it is making its run. I just wish I was still in it to the long side. But it's getting to $15. It has broken 15, by the way.
There it is.
15.25 is the top out. It might break out and be a 4 o'clock runner. So I'd be watching AMC after the close.
And the money comes spitting out. Bang, right there, the market, upside surprise on the imbalances. Microsoft, look at this NASDAQ go, man. We were sitting there at 350.50. We got hit out of that trade. Boom, that's $1.50 back there on the futures, man. Like, this is what it's all about. Thank you so much for the comments. This is how you don't have to be married to the short. We talked about that. If things change, we take out that day's high right there. We go long, bang it to the upside. Boom, goes the dynamite there. We'll drop some bombs right here. What a great day it is in the market. You're all feeling better today, right? We had a bad week. The market was killing us. I had to speak to my father. I had to talk him down from the ledge. And now you see what's happening right now. It's market mania. NASDAQ up 3p today as Microsoft continues to go. 1 million shares there on Softy. Go Softy, 307. Hell yeah. As Microsoft going to the upside right now. Visa was a sell. We know about the earnings today. I don't see anything else on here that you guys may be interested in. Ford with a buy, 1950, whatever. Talk to me back at $25 again. Other than that, man, I don't see much on here. I remember Lucent. That was a horrible stock. That was LU. If you guys remember Lucent, that's not what this is here, though.
What the heck is Santander Consumer Holdings? Whatever. That's a very random name with the largest imbalance. I think there's just ridiculous. So I'm going to ignore that one for $5 million. We saw those ridiculous warrants or whatever there might be. There's not a heck of a lot on that imbalance locator except for this one that I had to pull up because it was 5 million shares. But looks like nothing to see here. I'm not even sure what the deal is because it's not really doing any volume on the day. Like a 5 million imbalance and it's done 1.9 million on the session. It has moved the stock, so it might be worth checking in on it. But I'm not too incredibly impressed with it. AMC does reverse off that 15 area. I was trying to point out that 15.25, it already failed at 15 once, right? And so it does fail a break again. It might have to be a 4 o'clock type of runner on AMC here today because if that campaign is going, it's running into some serious sellers at that 15 level.
All right, so we are now waiting for 08. on SoFi. And I mean, you guys want the belly dance. You got the belly dance. There it comes out, man. What a great show. What a great day this has been here for the markets. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. We got the black hoodie. We got the toque, got the hat on. Not the toque. We should have a toque, actually. It's freaking cold outside. When I was driving in today, it was only minus 23 with the wind chill. Not too bad.
Not getting any warmer either this week.
I did want to, yeah, not getting any warmer. It's supposed to be really nice. Thank you so much for the super chat one more time here. Thank you to Ben here. I don't know what a goat is, but thank you so much. I'll take that for sure. And then thank you to everybody, man. PayPal looks like that's rocking. Hold AMC for Monday? Sure, why not? I mean, people are going back to theaters now. What is AMC doing here into the close? I know you were looking at it, Neil. You said it was starting to ramp up. We do love AMC. Yeah, that's really nothing there. But AMC, again, probably, I thought it was going even more than that, but back up to 15, a great trade off of a 13 bottom today. So there goes SoFi. We are almost out of all that. Yeah, I'm just playing around. I know what GOAT is, guys, but it just, I don't. It's just such a kind word. Thank you so much for that right there. But there's only one GOAT, and that is MJ. MJ, Gretzky, Muhammad Ali. Soccer, I mean, goes back and forth. We might be.
You could actually say Messi, Pele, or Maradona.
I was going to even say, even Ronaldo, even right now in current times, honestly.
He's legit. I will say that actually for boxing.
What about for baseball? I mean, I know you're all over this one. I mean, that could get back and forth. And by the way, like Bonds, Clemens, and Schilling, all no.
I don't want to get too deep into that, but my respect for the Hall of Fame. It's like it's a museum. Just put a plaque up.
It's so
put them in there and just tell the truth on the plaque, right? Like,
you know what they should do? They should honestly, someone should open up a hall right across the street, and I bet you that one will have more people go to it.
No, like I've been. I'm not going to the Hall of Fame again.
Yeah, I've been to the Hall. I mean, we were thinking right there together.
But you said boxing, and I love Muhammad Ali, but Sugar Ray Robinson is pound for pound the greatest boxer that ever lived. Muhammad Ali is an unbelievable icon, but an actual boxer.
I think for entertainment value.
Ray Robinson was nutso, bro. Like he was Floyd and Roy Jones Jr. put together. Sugar Ray Robinson, he was just ridiculous. I guess we got to go to Brendan here. What's up, buddy?
Nothing big, guys. I just wanted to mention it's Friday. That typically means no earnings, which is true for today. Same for Monday. There's a couple, but nothing worth mentioning. However, of note next week, XOM, Starbucks, AMD, GM, we'll get Google, we'll get Alibaba, we'll get Meta, QCOM, Amazon, Ford, to name a few, along with this one. PayPal set to report next week, guys. That day highs.
Yikes. It ain't over.
Yikes.
It's not over. Like we got a lot of bullets to dodge next week on some of those. Some of those are great, but there's a lot of bullets to dodge on the rest of them.
Yeah. I don't know if the good thing about it is you have the heavyweights coming as well. Google's going to rip this market, man. I mean, they're gonna have another big quarter as well. We're gonna get ready to get out of this SoFi talk here. Jackie Robinson, we never mentioned him. I mean, obviously we didn't even get into baseball other than that.
I wore 42 in my league for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's.
That's
for multiple.
That's a different level. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was a multi-sport athlete. I mean,
he was long jump.
It is what it is. It's funny when people go like, "Oh, these guys are Canadian. I'm surprised they know anything about sports." I mean,
don't get me started on college.
Do you know that
college sports? I'll go all day.
Do you know that if Gretzky, if you took away all of his goals, all of them, he would still be the league leader all time for points? All of his goals.
He's ridiculous.
So he's already he's number one goals. I don't know if Ovechkin will catch him or not. I think it's 894 goals, something like that. But if you take away all of his goals and just the assists, he's still the all-time points leader.
He's a clear GOAT there, but
disgusting.
I love Connor McDavid. OV is legit though. Like, for him to even be where he is,
he might be the best goal scorer of all time.
He is. I think whether he gets or not, he is, because based on era, I don't think there's even an argument to be made. And I'm not even a big hockey guy, but it's just what the guy is just unreal, and he's an all-around player. Like, he's tough as nails. You know what? And he comes up big in big moments. So he's not like a guy that'll shrink. Like, I have so much respect for an athlete like that. But some people said like Tony on the bell. It's like 3. I mean, look, Miss V is going to be. We got to have Miss V on the bell. We're not going to see her for a couple of weeks.
On the bell. We'll have Tony next week.
And we do look. Obviously, we're going to have a great time. Arun's going to be on the midday show.
Like, come on, guys.
right?
Come on, guys.
Arun's going to do a fantastic job, so take advantage. Take advantage of the fact that Arun will be on the midday show. Get your questions in about the futures. And let run, market run. Let's just watch Tesla get through 850.
Yeah, look at that market. I mean, what a huge day it's been here again today. Like the NASDAQ up 3%. You guys all went to bed last night wishing that this was going to happen, and that's exactly what did happen. So the NASDAQ, unless you were short, of course, but most of us are long holders. So there we go, long the market today, up 3%. What a great trade this was for the Qs to the upside, breaking there and out right there. That ends it for me. And then we just got out of our SoFi at 03. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. It does not go to 08. We went right to this level right there. But hey, man, everybody have a great weekend. There's a couple great games coming. Close spreads. I have a parlay with both underdogs. I have Cincinnati at 7.5. Then I think it's 3.5 for San Fran, but we'll check those. I've been really cleaning up on the TD props. And sorry about this, but I hit on the Kelsey prop, which ended your season, but doesn't matter. I think Kelsey goes again. I think Jamar Chase over yards because we like Burrow. That's for sure. I think Burrow over yards. T Higgins over yards, maybe.
I think it's a T Higgins game.
It could be because they're going to probably bracket Chase, so that's probably a good call there. And then I really don't know. I know the Rams are 0-6 against the 49ers. So I'm going to go with the coach, and we're going to see if Shanahan can take out McVay one more time. He's 0-6, but I do realize
Stafford's throwing at least one pick.
I do realize the Rams are stacked on both sides. So that should be another great game. Shout out to all the Niners fans out there. And then hopefully Aaron Rodgers joins whoever's a Denver fan there in Denver, and you can just send us some picks.
Spicy.
And then Jordan Love will be throwing picks next year. So we'll see about that.
We should say this. KSCP, oh goodness, almost messed it up again, did halt to the upside, so thank goodness we got out of it. And that iceberg buyer was definitely right. It's halted at 16 and won't open until 4 o'clock. It'll open up at 4 o'clock and then continue trading like normal. So good luck if you're stuck in this one. Hopefully it's a long if you are in it.
Yeah, only a minute left here. I mean, I can't believe that the Microsoft trade that we had this morning. Look, does anybody in their account have this print today? 294.70. We have a 294.77 print. 294.77. Microsoft is at 308 right now. We had this long, but of course we got it out at 299. So we take $5 on soft. You look at this thing go 308. Shout out to Daniel Shea. Her and I talked about Microsoft and how much we like that one. And of course SoFi does it. Goes right to 08, right on my level where I was sitting, and it does that with a whopping 40 seconds left. So SoFi right there, great trade to close the day. All is well, man. We're really, really happy. There's Miss V behind us. She's going to be ringing. Oh, there's Tony.
And Tony.
Yeah, they went to Tony first there, Miss V. So thank you, Tony. Thank you, Miss V. Have a fantastic trip, obviously, and we'll be waiting for you when you get back.
Absolutely. Look, it's going to be a fun one, a fun weekend. Lots of exciting things happening today. And AMC making a run right at the end of the day. Maybe you can get through that high. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We've enjoyed today. Those burgers were legit.
Yes,
3, 2, and 1. There's Brad. Where do you go?
I know, eh? Brad just walked by the co-host there and is like, see ya.
He timed that just to get on camera at the end.
We gone. Okay, so, wow. Oh, God. What? I just had a Qs trade just fire off there. Look at that deep print. So I am not short the Qs right now. Brendan, how did we wind up today?
Saw a very interesting note. Guys, if you went to bed on Sunday and woke up today, the NASDAQ is flat.
Woohoo!
Nothing happened. Don't even look at this week. Nothing happened. Here we go. Nice, huge rally there into the close. 2.4% for the S&P. Yeah, wow, 3% for the NASDAQ. So strong at the end of the day. 0.8% here for the TSX. Even cryptos rallied into the close, guys.
But that just goes to trader psychology, right? And that's what we're saying. Like when we're on this job, we sit here and you think like, you know, this is, like I said, talking people off cliffs. Like you think, oh my God, this is horrible. But then when you look at it, you know, the fact that we are just where we were, and here's the daily chart where we were all week. And that's exactly right, Brendan. You're right there, right? So up and down we go. And we finish at the very same spot. So next week, to say next week's earnings are important, Neil, I would say is a severe understatement.
Yeah, we got work to do next week, but it's gonna be crazy as KSCP. That whoever that iceberg was, you win. $20 this thing is at, and they were buying they were buying at 13, and you polished that coffee off.
Almost.
Well done.
Yeah,
well done. I just can't do coffee that late in the afternoon. You know me.
Yeah, I was just pounding it back there. I mean, I was crushing the water too, but we didn't have too many coffees.
There was some in there? No.
Those burgers came hard there at the end. So thank you so much to everybody today. I want to give a big thank you to Mark. I feel like he was the only one working around here today, so shout out to Mark on that. Besides our production
Get the man a burger.
of course. And I shouldn't say anything about Maggie. Maggie's interviewing, going crazy as well, and letting random people with burgers into the studio as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Always do
there.
that.
So shout out to
Yeah, we'll let anybody
He comes over to me and is like, there's someone here with burgers for everybody. I'm like, huh? But shout out to Yummies, and thank you, Daniel, for that. That was a lot of fun. I don't know if Prad's at his desk, but we'll say thank you to Prad for the Market Movers show again. There he is. What's up, Prad? And then a big thank you and a big safe travels, of course, to Miss V. So do you have your mic on, Miss V, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to say something quickly?
Absolutely, guys. We'll be missing you so much. I'll be coming on the chat, talking with you, and bring you something from Russia.
All right. I mean, take a vacation. You don't need to be on
Right?
the
You don't have to do
forget
that.
about it.
I want to do that.
Have a vacation.
No. If I see her on the chat, I'm banning her.
Yeah.
What?
So
You're gonna
I'm
get
serious.
booted.
We'll ban
They won't
her.
even let you do a poll in the chat. I wonder if that even.
Oh yeah, how did the poll finish, by the way?
Oh,
Larry?
good. Why did I even bring it up?
Larry, the poll. How did we?
Oh,
Mayo or no mayo?
Why did I bring
We
it
have
up?
nowhere to go.
Mayo is a winner. For
Mayo.
real.
Big time mayo.
Like 70 or 65 or
67.
67. We'll take it.
I
There.
see 60-40.
Oh, it's just
2/3, Neil. 2/3, bro.
It just
What's up
changed.
now?
You hit 400 in baseball. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, guys, anyways, fantastic day here. We had a lot of fun, obviously, as you can tell. So for all of us here at tradertv.live, thank you for watching. And join us next week. It's going to be a fun one. Have a great weekend, everybody. See ya.
Bye, guys.